kind of feels like my fault a little bit. For the last 2 months or so, I have complained publicly on this radio station about the lack of winter weather that we have received this season. What do I get in return for that? Negative degrees, not wind chill, negative in terms of the degrees that are showing up on the weather app, and a chance for like 8 inches of snow. Okay, that's not the winter that I was talking about. I was talking about like a week of consecutive days where it was like 28 to 34 degrees. I am a cold weather person. This is not cold weather. This is the Arctic Circle.
I'm about to say, this is Arctic weather.
Yeah. Dude, I saw a report earlier today that there's like an exploding tree risk.
Yeah, up in Minnesota.
Yeah, like apparently up north, it is going to get so cold that they're afraid that like the water inside these trees is going to like it's so saturated that when it freezes, it's going to like tense and cause these trees to explode. I'm sorry.
Have you seen photos
what?
of it? Have you seen photos of them?
No.
Oh, yeah, they're cool. And it doesn't really look like they full-on explode like dynamite does, but it opens up in the middle. It's kind of weird looking.
Doug, no thank you. That's not what I meant.
But I will say I would rather have snow than ice. What Arkansas and Oklahoma City are going to get.
Yeah, fair. And that freezing, the freezing rain that
Dude,
they're talking about down in
south,
Texas and stuff like that.
They're going to have it worse than us. I mean, oh, cool. We might get 4 to 8 inches. Who knows? We might get 12. I don't care. We're not getting almost an inch of ice that could take out all the power in the whole city.
Yeah, because they don't quite have their electrical grids are not up to capacity for those sorts of things. They're not accustomed to that kind of weather.
How long Texas is going to be out of school?
Weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
Man, the number of AMI days that are about to be conducted is outrageous. After hours here on 96.5, The Fan, Logan Weber alongside JT Noah, 913-586-7965 is our number. We've got a lot to get to, some Chiefs news. Not much going on the Royals front right now. That shouldn't be incredibly shocking with it being, mid-January and the Royals being pretty quiet on the trade front after things collapsed with Brendan Donovan and Jarren Duran of the Boston Red Sox. But we still have plenty to get to. Coming up at 7:30, we'll have Jordan Foote of Heavy Sports on with us to talk NFC and AFC championship games. Yeah, somebody in the text line brings up a good point. Yeah, bro, you should know better than to tempt Kansas City weather. You're right. That's entirely my fault. I knew the Midwest would Midwest at some point. I knew that eventually the pendulum would swing. I just thought it was weird. Like, we're sitting in mid-January, and it was like, it snowed once. What are we doing? And now, it was 60 degrees on Christmas. Like, that's weird. Well, this is what we get. And I apologize. I'll take full responsibility. Somebody says, just think of a water line bursting. Water freezing causes expansion. Same type of thing with the trees. I'd rather not think about pipes bursting, a water line freezing and cracking. As a new homeowner for the first time, like dealing with some of these things for the first time ever, I have been extremely concerned about it. I've had to have my father-in-law like talk me down. He's like, listen, Logan, all your pipes are inside, that we don't have any like exterior pipes or anything like that in our house. You're going to be fine. Your water pipes aren't running through a crawl space. The risk of your pipes freezing is extremely low in your situation. It's like, okay, sounds good. Because we've already dealt with that once. So we had like 3 inches of standing water in our basement for a little while. It was awesome.
That's so fun.
I really enjoyed it. After I spent 2 days in the attic putting in brand new canless lights in our bedrooms.
Nice.
Yeah, that was like, that felt, you feel good about, like you just accomplished something other than my knees and ankles because we didn't have any like plywood or anything. So I was literally just walking across the boards in our attic. and then a pipe burst. It was great. That was fun. That was a fun follow-up.
Yeah, the apartment complex that we live in, they're just like, hey, make sure you're dripping water. We don't want pipes to burst. And I'm like, yo, that's actually smart. I mean, that's because my first time living on my own, so I am like, oh wow, yeah, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah, I'm like looking up things with like being a first-time homeowner. Like I knew about like let your pipes drip and those, but there's other things like I was unaware of. I didn't know that it was like important to unhook your hose when it gets colder outside.
Oh, like from the house, the
Yes.
outside one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know much about that, but yeah, probably.
I did. I unhooked them and everything. So I just thought it was absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, the 913 says if you have any ever plumbing issues, give Blue Duck a call. There you go.
Hey, employee discounts.
I like that. Hey, even though I kind of got my own people with the apartment complex, but
Yeah,
hey,
fair.
my parents.
All
they
you
could
got to do is call the maintenance guy.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't have that.
See, I'm telling you,
anymore.
there's a lot of pros and cons to having a house, but I'll tell you one of the big cons. You don't have a person that just comes and works on your thing when it's
Yeah,
broken.
it's not you. It's not on you to fix it. It's not on you to pay to fix it. right?
Exactly.
Yeah. If a toilet goes bad, you just call the maintenance guy and he installs a new toilet. That's just how it works. No. Now it's on me to drop a couple $100s on a toilet and either install it myself or find somebody that can install it or help me install it. Yeah, it's great.
Bro, did your parents not teach you anything? No, my parents probably did. I just never paid attention to what my dad was saying.
Yeah, my parents taught me, but there's still things I don't know. I know how to do some electrical work around the house, but I don't have like a great deal of confidence in being able to do everything in my house. A pipe burst, I can do a little bit, but sometimes you just have to know what you know and know what you don't know and have somebody help you that knows it better than you do.
Listen, my dad is a huge, I call him a hillbilly, but he knows a lot of things, like outdoors and all that stuff. He talks to me, it's like going in one ear, going out. He goes, you're the city boy of the whole family. You don't understand any. I don't actually know.
It's tough. I always listened to what my dad had to say. I did as best I could. I change my own oil. All right.
Props to you. Yeah.
I rotate and balance my own tires. I typically change my own brakes on my car and all the, I know how to do things.
Okay. Yeah. You know way more than I thought
There's
you did.
just certain things that I am not comfortable at this point as a homeowner fixing by myself. Fixing it via these two hands and a YouTube video in front of me. I would rather have my father or my father-in-law or my brother-in-law come and help me for no other reason than to just like see somebody else do it once and then pick up on it. That's it. Yeah. The value of a man repairing things around the house is having his wife and children see him as the guy who handles things. I'm getting that. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm just not quite at that level yet.
I'll be honest, I doubt I'll ever be at that level. So.
I do my best.
Listen, I'm the guy that holds the flashlight for my dad when he does the work because I have no idea what he's doing. I was like, hey, Dad, I got the flashlight for you. You're doing well. Good work.
That's nice. I like that. I did a little bit of that. And then I got to a certain age and I would actually like help my dad work on it. Somebody said they're on call for heating and air and cooling tomorrow. Super excited. Yay.
Tip my cap to you, bud.
Ew.
That is a long day tomorrow, I feel like.
Dude, that would suck.
I mean, at least you're not down south where the ice is, because I feel like you would be on call for the next 2 weeks, but yeah.
I'm going to go home tonight after the show ends. I was supposed to do some officiating tomorrow for basketball, but the games got canceled. So I don't plan on leaving my house again until I absolutely have to.
Yeah, I usually do a show on 1660 on Saturday mornings, and I'm like, you know what? I'm looking at that weather. I'm like, you know what? We'll push that off. We might just do a regular podcast and put it out on Spotify.
There you go.
And you know what? We'll just stay at home all weekend and stay warm.
That's what I'm talking about. All right, let's change it. Sorry, spent way too much time talking about the weather. Just felt the need to apologize to the general public. After months of me complaining about there not being any winter weather, they just decided to throw the North Pole at us all of a sudden, which I did not anticipate happening. We do have some news on the Kansas City Chiefs front. No surprise. It was reported on Monday that it was happening. Wednesday, it was more or less confirmed by media outlets. Well, today, the Kansas City Chiefs themselves confirmed that Eric Bieniemy is now the offensive coordinator for the team. They posted a welcome back Eric Bieniemy. They posted a thank you, a farewell to former offensive coordinator now for the second time, Matt Nagy. But there were a couple of other interesting stories that I saw regarding other coaches on the staff for this Chiefs team. The first two being a couple of offensive guys, Mark Delone, who was the assistant running backs coach for the Chiefs, and Kevin Sexton, who was an offensive analyst. Both of those guys have parted ways with the Kansas City Chiefs. So it appears as though those two guys, along with obviously Connor Embry and Todd Pinkston and Matt Nagy, that's now 5 coaches on this offensive staff that have or will be looking for jobs elsewhere. On the other side of the football, Joe Cullen, who is the defensive line coach for the Kansas City Chiefs, since 2022, he's been with the team. So for the past 4 seasons, may be going elsewhere himself. The Baltimore Ravens earlier today, it was announced that they are requesting to interview him for their defensive coordinator opening. I don't know what to make of that in its entirety. I mean, the defense hasn't necessarily been the issue, but I mean, outside of Chris Jones, what does Joe Cullen have to hang his hat on with this defensive line? I'm not saying this as like Joe Cullen doesn't deserve the opportunity to interview for a DC job. Obviously, he does. He's been a defensive coordinator in this league before. I'm saying it from the standpoint of maybe this isn't the worst thing in the world for both sides. Bring in a new voice, a new face into that defensive line room to try to do some different things. You know, George Karlaftis, I think, still has some room to grow, and maybe a new voice will help him get there. Chris Jones has sort of fallen off the last couple of years a little bit. And nobody else along that defensive line has really made massive leaps and bounds in terms of their productivity, right? Mike Dana is still just Mike Dana. Charles Omenihu has, frankly, been a disappointment since the Chiefs brought him over from San Francisco.
You could say the biggest, I wouldn't say besides, obviously, Chris Jones, but the biggest guy that also he might have coached was Wharton, who went and got a nice contract.
Turk Wharton.
Yeah. But he's also spent 5 years previously with Baltimore before he came to Kansas City. So there's a little bit of a connection there. But, yeah, I don't know if it would be a big miss, but because I don't know if he's developed well. Now, you could say, well, Ashton Gelati had a really good year this year. But also I think he was thrown into the flame because of the players in front of him not performing at a high rate. So, I don't know. It's kind of weird. Would we miss him? I don't know.
I don't know either. Somebody in the text line at 913 says, is there any way of knowing if EB is a one-year replacement for Nagy or if he has a multi-year contract? ESPN reported it as a multi-year contract. So I don't know what multi-year, I mean, obviously it means at least 2 years. So it's not a one-year deal. I don't know if it's 4 years like Matt Nagy's previous deal was. A lot of times it's a 4-year deal that these guys sign. 3 to 5 typically, but 4 kind of somewhere obviously right there in the aggregate makes the most sense for these deals. So no, it is not a 1-year deal. It is multi-year according to ESPN and other sites across the National Football League. You know, and this is something that maybe we can get into a little bit more as the show goes along. There seems to be a lot of news cycle happening with Tyreek Hill right now, again, because of the announcement of EB coming back. Apparently, Eric Bieniemy or Tyreek Hill took to social media saying, you know, EB to the Chiefs, and then I guess was the end of the response or the tweet I guess he put out. And it has led to people talking ad nauseum about, oh, you know, a reunion with Tyreek Hill and the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs should look to bring Tyreek Hill back. Folks, let's not kid ourselves here, okay? There's no way the Chiefs could afford it. I mean, he's going into the last year of his deal, which has a cap hit of $51 million. Unless the Dolphins elect to, opt out of his contract because they do have one this offseason. As it sits right now, they have an out right now for Tyreek Hill. They would save around $26 million, but they would incur a dead cap hit of 28. So it's $54 million overall that they're cutting out. 28 million of that being dead cap. So they'd save 26 of the contract roughly. So maybe they do elect to do that, and maybe the Chiefs can figure something out, but I'm not too entirely sure of it.
What would he bring back, though, to the team that you would be excited about? Because, let's be honest, he's not as fast as he was when he was with the Chiefs in his first time around.
Correct. He's 31. He turns 32 in March, and he's coming off of an incredibly serious injury from this past season.
Right. So, I mean, and we all admit he is not the tallest. He's not the biggest. So his speed was the biggest factor. That's why when you had him, you used his speed to his advantage. So I don't see why you bring him back.
No, I mean, if this is coming off of the 2023 season that he had with Miami, where, he led the league in passing and receiving yards and in receiving touchdowns, okay, but, he played in the full 17 games 2 seasons ago in 2024 and had 959 yards receiving on 81 catches. And then this past year, 21 grabs in 4 games, 265 yards, a touchdown, and an incredibly serious knee injury, which is tough enough to bounce back from when you're 25 or 26 years old, let alone 31 going on 32. And when you are so reliant on your speed the way that Tyreek Hill is, doesn't seem to make a lot of sense for the Kansas City Chiefs. Not for the potential price point that would be put on it. Somebody says, if you bring back Hill... oh. Nice little coughing fit. That's always fun on the radio.
Do not die on camera.
God. If you bring back Tyreek Hill, isn't that admitting that Worthy was a failure? I don't think so. I mean, he just finished his second year in the league. I think that it's far too early on to say that Xavier Worthy was a failure. I mean, saying Xavier Worthy was a failure at all, in my opinion, I completely disagree with.
Guys, let's be real. This dude was not healthy all year. Like, from the third play of the game, he was never fully healthy. And I get it. You can say, oh, well, not every player was fully healthy and they still performed. His injury was so severe that he had to have surgery right after the season ended. Like, he had to have surgery on his torn labrum. So, I get it. We don't want to make excuses for the dude, but the dude had a severe injury in his shoulder that made him very, I would say, one-dimensional in a sense because of the injury.
Yeah, I mean, trying to say that Xavier Worthy has been a failure, anybody that's, and I'm not accusing this person of saying that, but saying that Xavier Worthy's been a failure through 2 years in his career, when you look at a player like Sky Moore, which I think was categorically a failure, through 2 seasons, through Sky Moore's first 2 years in Kansas City, mind you, he was the 54th overall pick, second round pick, right? He had 43 catches for 494 yards and 1 touchdown in the regular season. That was the first 2 years for Sky Moore. Categoric failure. On the flip side, Xavier Worthy through 2 seasons, 101 catches for 1,170 yards and 7 receiving touchdowns. That's not adding on the 191 yards rushing and 3 rushing touchdowns that he has. So I don't think we can say that Xavier Worthy's been a failure to this point. We'll talk more about it here on the other side of the break. 913-586-7965. People talking about Tyreek Hill coming back to Kansas City. I don't buy it. I will warn everybody else not to buy into it either. We'll talk more. Logan Weber, JT Noah. This is After Hours, 96.5, The Fan.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You're still grooving, still connecting, still loving, still turning up, still thriving. You still got it, but your immune system, it weakens as you age. That's where vaccines come in. They help train and strengthen your immune response to fight off respiratory illnesses like flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, or COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Book in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Tonight, expect snow with a low of -1.
I'm McCall with Lee Summit Subaru, and it's time to make a big deal out of nothing. Announcing Lee Summit Subaru's 0% event. Up to 0% financing on select 2025 Subaru models for 72 months. And we have the largest selection of Subaru certified vehicles in Kansas City, starting as low as 1.9% for 72 months.
0% event and a lifetime warranty. Fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru.
Based on January 2025 through June 2025 Kansas City inventory listings.
Escape to your new coastal seafood paradise. Introducing Aqua Pennies, where the freshest seafood, a full-service raw bar, prime steaks and chops, exquisite handcrafted cocktails, and a one-of-a-kind atmosphere come together in perfect harmony. Aqua Pennies is now open in Park Place, Leawood. Don't miss out. Experience something truly different. Tantalize your taste buds and elevate your evening out. To learn more, go to aquapennies.com.
Coast into Aqua Pennies, now open for lunch.
Weather brought to you by Duke's Mayo. Welcome to Duke's Mayo Country, where the mayo is so smooth and creamy, it makes every bite better. Duke's Mayo. Look for the yellow lid.
Did you know we have an Instagram channel? MVP Monday, Chiefs Take Tuesday, Best Bets, Fantasy Football Advice, and real-time updates during Chiefs games. Get behind-the-scenes content from all the guys on a daily basis. It's exactly why Instagram was created, to look at a bunch of 30-year-old dudes giving sports opinions. Kansas City's FM sports station and your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
I didn't expect all this hoopla about Tyreek Hill back to the Chiefs to generate this much in the text line, but here we are. 913-586-7965 is our number. Tyreek spent 2 solid years trashing and insulting the Chiefs. No thanks. Yeah, I can't help but think back to when he was asked about something with Tua, and he called Tua Tagovailoa the most accurate quarterback in the NFL. Like right after he went to Miami. And frankly, like what else is he going to say? He's not going to disparage his current quarterback to defend his former quarterback. But, I mean, anybody with eyes has taken Patrick Mahomes over Tua, especially now. Some dude tweeted he did not want Tyreek back on the Chiefs, and Tyreek tweeted something back like, me too. All right. Well, if Tyreek doesn't want to, I mean, I don't know what it is about every time Tyreek says something, Chiefs fans are like, oh, Kansas City should reunite with Tyreek Hill. And it's like, oh, well, we pump our brakes a little bit. Going to Tyreek is falling into the same circle we always do with these veteran players. Tyreek is washed. I hate that it's even brought up. We're going to find out pretty quickly if Tyreek Hill is a washed-up player at this point. I mean, 32 years old coming off an ACL doesn't breed a lot of confidence for me. That's for sure. I'm in the same boat you are. I don't like the fact that we're even bringing this up. This team is in need of wide receiver help, probably. I mean, especially if, depending on how, and not getting into the speculation of that, how the situation with Rashee Rice unfolds, they could certainly need even more wide receiver help. Worthy wasn't a failure. This comes from an 816. He was underdeveloped due to our coaching staff. Embry, with 2 exclamation points on the end. Can't argue with that. But Tyreek may not be as fast. He'll be fast enough to get the secondary's attention, which will open up everything else. Is using Tyreek Hill as a decoy worth potentially paying him $50 million over the next 2 seasons? In my opinion, no. Or just next season. His contract for 2026 has a cap hit of $54 million. That does not sound like somebody that I would pay that amount of money to be a decoy in my offense. Makes no sense to bring Hill back when the Chiefs have an opportunity to get their 2 young guys in Worthy and Rice who have both shown potential. Yeah, especially bringing back Bieniemy, who will be able to assist with reigniting that passing offense that was once there. Tyreek was fun to watch. This is the present. Can't live back in those times forever. Well, that seems to be what the Chiefs have done a pretty good job of the last couple of years, is just recycling old veteran guys from previous teams and putting them back on this roster over and over and over and over again. Now, none of those guys were getting paid $54 million. So something tells me we won't have to worry about it. I was comparing, talking about is Xavier Worthy a failure through his first 2 years. I compared his stats to Sky Moore's earlier, who I think we can all unanimously agree was a failure in Kansas City. His tenure with the team was. Somebody asked to compare Xavier Worthy's stats to McCole Hardman's. Again, Xavier Worthy was the 28th overall pick back in 2024. McCole Hardman was the 56th overall pick back in 2019. Through the first 2 years of his career, Xavier Worthy has 101 catches, 1,170 yards, and 7 receiving touchdowns. He's also got another 200 yards nearly in the running game and 3 rushing touchdowns. Comparing that to McCole Hardman, who, and I apologize to any parent with children listening right now, McCole Hardman, in his first 2 years in Kansas City, had 67 catches. I'm going to let that sit for a minute. Almost 1,100 yards, 1,098 to be exact, through 2 seasons, and 10 receiving touchdowns. He amassed only 48 rushing yards and no rushing touchdowns in that same time frame. So, comparatively speaking, obviously, McCole Hardman was much more of a deep ball threat. I mean, his rookie year, 26 catches for 538 yards and 6 receiving touchdowns. He caught 18 first downs his rookie year on 26 catches. He averaged 20.7 yards per reception. Deep ball threat, to say the least. I would say that Xavier Worthy has had a better start to his career through 2 seasons than McCole Hardman did. And I would say McCole Hardman was much less considered a failure than Sky Moore was. Like I said, Sky Moore had 43 catches in 2 years with the Chiefs. He had 43 catches in his 3-year career with the Chiefs. 43 catches in 3 seasons. Meanwhile, McCole Hardman, in 3 seasons with the Kansas City Chiefs, 26 catches, 41 catches, that adds up to 67, plus another 59 grabs his 3rd year in the league. We'll see, man. If we were going to spend money on a wide receiver, rather spend it on George Pickens. He had a remarkable year with the Cowboys. I don't know how the Cowboys are going to afford to, but I think they should do everything in their power to try to keep him around. I mean, you let Diggs go. You let go of that massive contract. You traded away Micah Parsons. I know that you're going to have to figure some stuff out with Kenny Clark and Quinnen Williams and obviously CeeDee Lamb. But, I mean, that 2-headed wide receiver room of George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb is as good a duo as you're going to find in football. I would do everything I can to keep him around. We'll see.
But also, I wonder how much of that was him doing it because of it being a contract year. Like, hey, let me go out here and outperform and do all this so I can get a nice big paycheck and then settle down and not do much after that.
I mean, that's not necessarily a fear that I take with me everywhere. I know that there's people who are saying that about Chris Jones right now. It's like once he got that big contract, he stopped performing at the same level. Maybe he doesn't have the same level of hunger, what have you. These guys play the game because they love the game of football. 99% of them do. And maybe George Pickens is among that 1%, but I don't think so. Just one man's opinion on the matter. So he's going to get cut, though. We won't be paying him that. He can take Worthy under his wing like Hopkins did with Rice. Yeah, you're right. I imagine that the Dolphins probably will part ways with Tyreek Hill. They'll cut him to save a little bit of money towards the hard cap, but he's still going to be paid a good chunk of money. Somebody will still willingly give him $15 to $18 million to come be a wide receiver on their football team. The Chiefs should not do anything of the sort. Wow, Xavier Worthy has like 300 more yards than Hardman did. That's pretty weak. Okay. Which of those two receivers were supposed to be the deep ball threat? Well, they brought McCole Hardman in to be a deep ball threat alongside Tyreek Hill. McCole Hardman didn't have to deal with an ankle injury and a separated shoulder and play an entire season on both of them.
Also, we could argue the surrounding cast at wide receiver was way better for Tyreek Hill than it was for Xavier Worthy this year.
Better for McCole Hardman, right? McCole Hardman was the number 3 wide receiver in that offense. He could be a deep ball threat because he wasn't being asked to catch balls across the middle and settle for an 8-yard curl route and a first down because they didn't trust anybody else to do it.
Because won't you say Worthy was the number 2 option this year?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I would argue he's the number 3 option because you still have Travis Kelce on this football team.
Right, but I feel like Travis fell to the 3 this year just because of, I would say, what was it be called? Like not the check down Charlie, but more of like the, hey, guess what? I'm in a pickle. Here we go. Here's Travis Kelce.
Yeah, which is, but that's sort of who Trav's been the last couple of seasons, I would argue.
Okay.
Still finished with 776 catches for 851 yards, which led the Chiefs.
Oh, right,
so,
exactly.
I don't know. Does he take $10 million to come back home? Does Tyreek Hill take $10 million to come back to Kansas City?
What are you smoking?
No. If somebody else is offering him $15 or $18 million to go play receiver for them, he's going to take that contract. No. Worthy also has to be the number 1 and number 2. Hardman had Tyreek and Watkins and Pringle. Tyquan Thornton was better than Xavier Worthy this year. They just didn't give him the opportunities. He was a better deep ball threat. He had a better connection with Patrick Mahomes, but I wouldn't agree that Tyquan was a better player than Xavier Worthy. Better 25-plus yards down the field, sure. But Xavier Worthy's a lot more than just the guy who ran the fastest combine time ever. Fastest 40 time at the combine ever. I don't know. I feel like we're writing off Xavier Worthy way too quickly right now. Way too quick. 23 years old. Like, is he even 23 years old at this point? No, he's 22. Why are we already talking about a guy that he's a failure? He hasn't been as good. Come on. 913-586-7965 is our number. Much more coming up, including a wild suggestion from a writer from Bleacher Report of who the Chiefs should bring in to be the backup quarterback next year. I'll give you a hint. I hate it. That's next. Logan Weber, JT Noah, 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
What's up, everybody? Nick Costos here with the Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by BetMGM. Make it legendary. Please gamble responsibly. Coming up on Sunday in the Pro Football Playoffs for the AFC Championship, New England, a 4.5-point road favorite at Denver. Total of the game, 42.5. And Denver will be starting its backup quarterback in the game, but Denver's head coach has made it known that he's going to sling it. He's not going to have a conservative game plan here, and I think Denver's backup quarterback can play well enough to score some points. And on the flip side, we think New England's stud second-year quarterback will be able to score on the Denver defense. So coming up on Sunday in the AFC Championship, let's go over 42.5, New England and Denver. That's it for this Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by BetMGM. Download the BetMGM app today, and please gamble responsibly.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
Paramount Plus is the new home of UFC, and we're coming out swinging with UFC 324.
Oh, what a shot!
And 325 on back-to-back weekends. The new era is here.
It's time!
Every fight.
Bam! Yes!
One subscription.
Oh my goodness!
Pay-per-view just got knocked out.
Let's go!
Back-to-back blockbuster UFC events this month, only on Paramount Plus.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
People are still very... It's like a 50-50 split. People defending Xavier Worthy, people speaking negatively on Xavier Worthy. So an 816 says, bro, we are down on Worthy because first-round picks at wide receiver in the NFL aren't usually projects. Where he was picked, he should be bearing fruit way before his third year in the league. Do I have to remind everyone that this man, Xavier Worthy, just played 13 regular season football games with torn ligaments in his ankle and a torn labrum? He was not 100% healthy the entire year. It's one thing if he's 100% healthy this season and he amasses 500 yards receiving. That's one thing. But he was hurt the entire year. It felt like he was going to the training table at least once a game every week this season. Absolutely. Somebody else brings it up. It's also fairly evident that the coaching wasn't helping him all that much. They just fired Connor Embry.
Running back guy, remember?
Yeah.
Running back.
I mean, they fired the running back, the wide receivers coach.
Who never played wide receiver.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not going to sit here and, Yeah, and I know C-Dot and Rob have been pretty critical of Xavier Worthy. I'm not on that boat. Can't do it.
They were also very critical of Travis Kelce 2 years ago and thought he should have retired. So, I mean, what really do they know?
Like, are we all just, like, forgetting about how good Xavier Worthy was in the playoffs last year? Like, think about the second half of his rookie season. After Rashee Rice goes down, I may add, and how good he was there and what he accomplished in the playoffs. 19 catches for 287 yards and 3 receiving touchdowns. Caught 13 first down passes. All 3 of those were the best in the playoffs last year, I might add. Let's take a beat. He just finished his second year in the league playing with a torn labrum and a messed up ankle. He's not even 23 years old yet. Why are we sitting here acting like, oh, it's over, let's just get rid of him? Relax. If he plays soft next year, will you admit that you were wrong? Sure. Yeah, let's call a 23-year-old a bust after he finishes his third year in the league, where he's outperformed every other rookie wide receiver in 2 years in the Andy Reid era in Kansas City. He's had poor coaching, poor supporting cast in terms of, last year it was bad offensive line play and injuries galore across the Chiefs wide receiver room. This year, it was his own injury situation. It was Rashee Rice being suspended for the first 6 weeks of the year. I think we all need to just relax for a minute. I don't think we are way too early in this thing to call Xavier Worthy a bust. Or to call him a bust risk. If he plays soft. I don't think Xavier Worthy plays us. How can you say he's soft? Do I have to keep repeating that the guy played with a messed up ankle and torn labrum for 3 months? But we're calling him soft because he's 170 pounds. That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. All right. Off that subject, something else that'll get me upset. This will be fun. Bleacher Report is making a suggestion as to who the Chiefs should sign this offseason as their backup quarterback. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. Christopher Knox of Bleacher Report says that Kansas City should pursue Russell Wilson to be their backup quarterback. Said, quote, Wilson is unlikely to find a true starting opportunity this offseason. Unlikely?
Absolutely.
He should never be a starting quarterback in this league again. But he could make sense as a bridge option for the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is recovering from a torn ACL, and neither Gardner Minshew nor Chris Oladokun is under contract for 2026. Joining Kansas City might allow Wilson to start a few more games, perhaps be a part of a Chiefs resurgence, and calmly shift into the backup phase of his career. I don't want that man on my football team. No, thank you. No, thank you.
I feel like that's a hard pass.
And dude, gross. Absolutely I'm sorry. Do I think Russell Wilson could be a decent backup for the Chiefs? Yeah. I honestly think he'd be a pretty good fit for Andy's system. He fits the mold of the veteran backup quarterback that we know Big Red really likes to use. But, yuck. Russell Wilson is 37 years old, and he's only gotten worse. I mean, he started 3 games for the Giants last year. He went 0-3. He threw for 831 yards. Mind you, like 400 of that came in that game against the Cowboys, if we recall. 3 passing touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Completed 58% of his throws. I'd rather have Zach Wilson than Russell Wilson, and I don't want Zach Wilson at all. I don't disagree with that one. Somebody says Jameis Winston. Dude.
That's who I've said.
Jameis Winston, for nothing more than, like...
It would bring at least something to watch if he had to start.
Dude, the amount of levity that guy brings to a locker room, he's so much fun. The reality TV show that he's going to be able to come out with after he retires from the NFL is going to be must-see TV. He's just a great locker room guy. His teammates love him. If you need him for a few weeks, fine. I don't know how he fits with what Andy wants to do. I don't know. Somebody else says the same thing. What about famous Jameis for a backup? I don't mind the idea. I don't know how it fits in terms of the scheme of the offense, but from a personality standpoint, I think Jameis Winston is a home run as a backup quarterback.
Did you hear what he was saying on the New Heights podcast? I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago. Like they asked him what was his like coming out moment in the NFL, and he goes, "When I threw my first touchdown, it wasn't to my team; it was to the others."
Hey man, the infamous 30-30 season from Jameis Winston.
Oh man,
baby.
where he had to get the LASIK eyes.
That's absolutely fantastic. I believe Worthy is being misused. They're only using him as a gadget guy, end-around screens, hardly any downfield routes. Yeah, I'd like to see Xavier Worthy used more in the intermediate part of the field. It seems like everything Xavier Worthy does is within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage or 20 yards beyond the line of scrimmage. I'd like to see him running some ins, some comebacks, some more curl routes, slants, things that are going to get him the ball in space and not at the line of scrimmage. I'm talking about more down the field, but not home run balls deep down the field, right? People kind of overlooked that part of Tyreek Hill's game in Kansas City. Everybody talked about the speed and his ability to beat guys down the field and catch these big, long touchdown passes. Yeah, that was all well. And how many times have we watched Tyreek Hill catch a ball for a gain of 15 and turn it into a 60-yard touchdown? Because he caught a ball in the middle of the field, one-on-one, safety was the only guy behind him, and all he had to do was beat him to the spot. Maybe we give Xavier Worthy a few more of those opportunities. Somebody said Justin Fields. Oh, I'd rather have Russell Wilson.
No.
Justin Fields.
No, Justin Fields. What about one of the quarterbacks in Arizona? Aren't they both free agents, Jacoby Brissett or Kyler Murray?
Correct.
That one of those two would be kind of fun. I think Kyler Murray would actually kind of fit the system of Andy Reid a little bit.
I don't know about Kyler as a backup.
See, I didn't know either. I think Tyler.
As far as I can tell, he's not a free agent.
Okay.
Kyler Murray isn't.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure Arizona gave him.
Pieces.
Yeah, Kyler. They gave him a deal. I thought.
What about Tyler Huntley?
I think he is going to get more money than the Chiefs are willing to give a backup quarterback.
I think that's the same with Malik Willis. I think Malik Willis is probably going to be a starter next year.
Tyrod Taylor.
Marcus Mariota went too much.
Yeah.
Gardner Minshew, will he be healthy enough to be starting if you need him to?
Case Keenum.
Jimmy G.
Case Keenum feels like an Andy Reid guy.
Oh, yeah.
That feels like quintessential Andy Reid backup, Case Keenum, in my view. Josh Johnson, just so that he can check the Chiefs off his box of teams that he's played for in his career.
I don't know if he's a free agent, but the neck guy in Houston, what's his name? The backup for
Davis Mills.
Davis Mills.
I don't think he's a free agent either.
The neck guy.
Teddy Bridgewater potentially is another one.
He's a high school coach. Then he comes out and then becomes the backup quarterback.
Yeah. 913.
Malik Willis is going to ask for too much on the 913.
Yeah, I'm in the same. Malik Willis would be a fun backup for sure, but
I think he's a starter somewhere.
The way that he played at the end of the year for the Packers leads me to believe somebody is going to give him a deal to be either a solid backup quarterback, to be a top flight backup quarterback, or maybe even a bridge quarterback option. Say somebody takes a flyer on Ty Simpson late in round 1 of this year's draft, right? Maybe you bring in a Malik Willis, somebody that can start the first 4 to 6 games, allow Ty Simpson to get his feet under him a little bit more before you thrust him into the starting quarterback spot.
Do you see a team maybe taking a shot at him to be a competitor to a starter, like the Minnesota Vikings? Hey, here's a competitor for you, JJ. Can you outbeat Malik?
Maybe. I just think that the Vikings have put all their eggs in that basket.
Yeah.
Of JJ McCarthy.
See, Malik Willis, you know who he feels like, and now with him being fired, I don't know if he does now, but Malik Willis before Mike McDaniels was fired felt like a Miami Dolphin.
Yeah, I would agree. I think he'd be a better, more viable option than Tua.
Or what's the
cap hell?
Is
with
it
him.
Quinn Ewers that was throwing in the football at the end of the year? Is that Quinn Ewers throwing it?
Yes.
Yeah, he's better than that guy.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Somebody says Keenum is interesting, but man, I just don't see that guy winning games if we needed it. Flacco, I know, can sling the ball.
If you're going to bring Flacco, why don't we just go get Phillip Rivers, guys? He's going to be the head coach for Buffalo, so why don't we just bring over the head coach? Possibly?
Matt Moore won games for this Chiefs team.
About to say Matt Moore, and who was the other guy? Oh, my God, I can't think of his name right now.
Chad Henne.
Yeah, Chad Henne.
Anything is possible.
Yeah, anything. The Browns game, baby. Woo-wee.
True. I mean, Chad Henne had to win one drive. Matt Moore had to win, like, full-length football games.
Yes.
After the kneecap situation.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
He beat that Minnesota Vikings team, but who was that? Was that Williams that took the 99 yards for a touchdown?
Yes.
And he thought a defender was catching him, but it was Tyreek Hill.
Correct.
Yeah.
Gotta love it. 913-586-7965 is our number. Much more coming up, including Jordan Foote joining us at 7:30 this afternoon. The Buffalo Bills are Buffalo billing right now, including bizarre head coaching candidates that I can't tell whether to laugh or cry at. We'll talk about that coming up here on After Hours. Logan Weber, JT Noah, 96.5, The Fan.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
Ready for action, basketball fans? BetMGM, an authorized gaming partner of the NBA, is giving players another reason to hit the court this season. BetMGM is adding extra excitement to every basket, every slam dunk, and every buzzer-beating shot with special promotions, new features, and more. Log in throughout the season to find odds boost tokens, no sweat tokens, and same-game parlay boost tokens in your account to amplify your winnings. Enjoy enhanced product features like Dark Mode 2. Log into BetMGM, an authorized gaming partner of the NBA, all throughout the basketball season to see what's new. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary and expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Don't let winter catch you off guard. Keep your family cozy with a $69 heating system tune-up from Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter. We have pros available 7 days a week to keep your system running at peak efficiency, helping prevent costly breakdowns, lower energy bills, and keep your home warm all winter long. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews are great reasons to trust Hamilton. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions.
License number 2025-11121.
That's the sound of James adding long-lasting Gain scent boosters to his laundry this morning. Several hours later, James sniffs the irresistible scent of Gain on his shirt. Gain. Several hours later, James has even caught the attention of his mother-in-law, and she never gives him attention.
Ooh, you smell amazing, James.
Oh, thanks, Mom. I love you too.
I never said that.
Add Gain scent boosters to your laundry. Add joy to your day.
Paramount Plus is the new home of UFC, and we're coming out swinging with UFC 324.
Oh, what a shot!
And 325 on back-to-back weekends. The new era is here.
It's time!
Every fight.
Bam! Let's go.
One subscription.
Oh my goodness!
Pay-per-view just got knocked out.
Let's go.
Back-to-back blockbuster UFC events this month only on Paramount Plus.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
Paramount Plus is the new home of UFC, and we're coming out swinging with UFC 324.
Oh, what a shot!
And 325 on back-to-back weekends. The new era is here.
It's time!
Every fight.
Bam! Let's go.
One subscription.
Oh my goodness!
Pay-per-view just got knocked out.
Let's go.
Back-to-back blockbuster UFC events this month only on Paramount Plus.
The new era of UFC on Paramount Plus comes out swinging. Highlight Machine Justin Gaethje collides with Paddy the Baddy Pimblett in a must-see high-octane main event. Plus, Sean Sugar O'Malley faces off against Song Yadong in a stand-up war filled with high-level striking. Pay-per-view just got knocked out. Stream UFC 324 live on January 24th, only on Paramount Plus. Visit ParamountPlus.com/UFC to get started.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You're still grooving, still connecting, still loving, still turning up, still thriving. You still got it, but your immune system, it weakens as you age. That's where vaccines come in. They help train and strengthen your immune response to fight off respiratory illnesses like flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, or COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Book in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm McCall with Lee Summit Subaru, and it's time to make a big deal out of nothing. Announcing Lee Summit Subaru's 0% event. Up to 0% financing on select 2025 Subaru models for 72 months. And we have the largest selection of Subaru certified vehicles in Kansas City, starting as low as 1.9% for 72 months.
0% event and a lifetime warranty. Fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru.
Based on January 2025 through June 2025 Kansas City inventory listings.
Escape to your new coastal seafood paradise. Introducing Aqua Pennies, where the freshest seafood, a full-service raw bar, prime steaks and chops, exquisite handcrafted cocktails, and a one-of-a-kind atmosphere come together in perfect harmony. Aqua Pennies is now open in Park Place, Leawood. Don't miss out. Experience something truly different. Tantalize your taste buds and elevate your evening out. To learn more, go to aquapennies.com.
Coast into Aqua Pennies, now open for lunch.
This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
You know, I can understand looking at a guy who played at the highest level of a sport for a very long time for a coaching job. I absolutely can get behind that. But looking at a guy who played a sport at the highest level for a very long time for a head coaching job when he's never coached at that level or the level below it for that matter is absolutely ridiculous. After hours here on 96.5 The Fan, Logan Weber alongside my producer tonight, JT Noah. With you till 9 o'clock this evening. We've got Jordan Foote coming up with us at 7:30 from Heavy Sports to talk AFC and NFC championship games. Talk a little NBA as well. Jordan's a big NBA guy, as am I. But I want to talk about in what world does it make sense for the Buffalo Bills to be interviewing Phillip Rivers for the head coaching job? There are so many aspects of this that I have a hard time grasping. First things first, Phillip Rivers, as I said, played this game in the NFL for a remarkably long time. That cannot be understated. Drafted back in 2004, played until 2020 when he retired, then spent 4 years as a high school football coach, then got picked back up by the Colts this year, where he played again. He wasn't incredibly effective. He was 0-3, threw for 544 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 3 picks, and completed only 63% of his throws. That I understand. If you're looking at Phillip Rivers to be your quarterback's coach, okay. Yeah, he's never coached quarterbacks in college, but he played in the NFL for 20 years. Okay. Understood. Even as the offensive coordinator, I could maybe get my head around that. All right. He's never been a college coach. He didn't, he's not been a quarterback's coach in the NFL, but, he played this game for a very long time, had some very successful years. The head coach? This dude is a high school football coach. He's never coached in college. He's never coached a position. He's never been a coordinator in the NFL. And you want to interview him for the possibility of hiring him to be your head coach.
There's always that wow coaching hire in the cycle. This is the one. If they hire Phillip Rivers, you'll be like, wow. Because you went on your press conference and said, hey, Bean is my guy. But yet, Bean's going to hire a guy that hasn't even coached outside of high school football?
Losing to Bo Nix on a fractured ankle, if that's not enough to get you fired.
He really didn't lose on Bo Nix on a fractured ankle.
Who did he lose to?
Bo Nix didn't fracture his ankle until they were already in field goal range.
Point stands.
Okay, all right, Logan.
I'm going to say it just because I think it's funny.
No, they lost to the refs, though. That's what they'll say.
Sure
Yeah.
Brandon Cooks yesterday. It was a catch.
I still feel like it was a catch.
No, it wasn't. Shut up.
The whole problem is if there was no one there, the ball hits the ground, guess what? No one's complaining it's an incomplete pass. But, since the defender got it, it's a problem.
Because the ball never hit the ground.
And the craziest
And Brandon
part,
Cooks lost control of the ball when it hit the ground, and the defender gained possession of it. You didn't complete the catch through the ground.
And it's not
Not to the ground, through the ground. And
people can be like, whatever. But to me, it's kind of funny. It was like an arm punt in a sense. It was 3rd and 10. Okay, you arm punted it. I know if you quote-unquote catch it, it's a field goal range. But, you had opportunities to stop Bo Nix. Instead, you guys got flags and Tre'Davious White throwing the helmet. Was hilarious. But yeah.
Somebody in the text line just said, you don't think Peyton Manning could come in and be a top-notch coach? I don't.
Absolutely not. No.
I don't.
No.
Sorry.
Who do you think?
Give him 10 years as a quarterback's coach or offensive coordinator, and then we can have a discussion.
Teddy Bridgewater, no.
I'm not just going to, he can do it.
Teddy Bridgewater's a high school coach. He took his team to their state championship in Florida. Don't want him to be a head coach. No, I'm good.
In fact, it's only happened once. According to the Elias Sports Bureau, there's only been one person since 1950 that has played in the NFL for at least one season and then served as a head coach the next. That being Norm Van Brocklin, who retired in 1960 as a member of the Philadelphia Eagles, and then in 1961 became the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings. They went 3-11.
3-11.
3-11. Wouldn't Phillip Rivers be similar to when Mike Vrabel was hired as a head coach? I know Vrabel coached in college and a position coach before, but he always had coaching material based on how smart he was as a player. Yeah, I see where you're coming from with Vrabel being a former player, but you pointed it out in your sentence. Vrabel, when his career was done, worked his way through as a coach. He retired in 2010. He didn't get a head coaching job until 2018. He was the linebackers coach at Ohio State, defensive line coach at Ohio State, became the linebackers coach for the Texans. He was the defensive coordinator for the Texans, and then he became the head coach of the Tennessee Titans. Same situation with Antonio Pierce. You kind of got to work your way through the ranks. That's just the way it's done, because being a player and being a coach are two very different. You can know everything there is to know about something, but going about it from the perspective of a player instead of a coach, those are two wildly different things. I think Phillip Rivers could be a very good coach, but to go from being a player to coaching high school to being a head coach in a year is outrageous to me.
Here's one that people might think, well, that's crazy. Here's a player that had played and now is a coach in the NFL. But guess what? He's a quarterback coach, Josh McCown. And he's actually getting looks, I saw this cycle, for offensive coordinator. That's fine. He's at least started somewhere. He started as a QB coach. We're not saying, oh, Phillip Rivers can't be the QB coach. He's going for the head coaching job. Like, I get he's probably not going to be hired. Like, I get that. But still, for him to go in there and at least get an interview with them is crazy to me.
Yeah,
I don't know how players are going to be like, hey, we played you like 6 months ago, and now you're my boss?
Right, yeah. How the players would react to it. Think about the other coaches on that staff.
What about Brady, Joe Brady?
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought was, like, imagine, because they interviewed Joe Brady for the head coaching job also. Right? I mean, it's not as if Phillip Rivers is the only guy they've hired. I want to preface that. They interviewed Mike McDaniel, actually, before he took the offensive coordinator job with the Chargers. They interviewed...
Actually, no, they're bringing him back. They brought him in after he was signed already.
Okay. So, yeah, they interviewed him today. As I read that incorrectly. I thought they interviewed him last Friday. They interviewed him today.
Yeah.
Okay, they also interviewed, as I said, Joe Brady. They interviewed Brian Dable, Lou Anarumo. They have scheduled interviews with Anthony Lynn, who is an former assistant for the Bills.
Which is funny because they're flying to him. He's not coming to Buffalo. They're flying.
Where is he at? He's the defensive coordinator somewhere, right?
I can't remember where, but he's in California. They're flying all the way to California to see him. And someone goes, they're just doing that so they can get away from the weather.
He is currently the running backs coach for the Washington Commanders.
Yeah, he's at home in California, and they're like, we're going to come to you. And everyone's like, well, it's probably because of the weather, but it's still kind of funny.
Interesting. They're going to conduct interviews with him, former Dolphins defensive coordinator Anthony Weaver, and Grant Adensky, who's the OC for the Jaguars. So it's not as if Rivers is the only guy they've hired, but could you imagine they get through this entire interview process, including an interview with your current offensive coordinator in Joe Brady, who has in back-to-back years coached Josh Allen to his only MVP award, and then this season leads James Cook to be the league's leading rusher, and then you hire Phillip Rivers to be your head coach. If I'm Joe Brady, I'm announcing my resignation at the same press conference that Phillip Rivers announces his hiring. I'm like, yeah, I'm out. I'll go be the OC somewhere else. Guys,
Absolutely
I know
no way. No way I would stay with that organization.
See, and I knew this was going to happen because you brought it up. Somebody said Jeff Saturday did it. He was an interim head coach.
Yeah.
And he didn't get the full-time job. It's nowhere near the same situation. Yes, the Colts brought in Jeff Saturday to be their interim head coach for a few weeks, and they did some decent things. But even he didn't get the full-time head coaching job when it was offered. This is a full-time, permanent head coach. How do you think Matt Nagy feels that Philip Rivers got an interview with them, but he didn't? I don't know. That's a great question.
What if Matt Nagy didn't want to interview?
Did Matt Nagy want to be the head coach of the Buffalo Bills? You can't be unsuccessful offensively with Patrick Mahomes as your starting quarterback for the last 3 years and then go to Buffalo and be unsuccessful offensively with Josh Allen as your quarterback. You'll never get a job in this league again. Mike McCarthy to the Bills or Pittsburgh? Dude, I cannot picture Mike McCarthy coming back.
If he goes to Pittsburgh, they're taking steps backwards. Because what are you doing? You're just going to rerun what you had last year, except this time it's with McCarthy instead of Tomlin?
And that would very much go against what the Steelers have traditionally been.
Totally.
Steelers have always gone for defensive-minded coaches and younger coaches. I mean, think about when they hired Mike Tomlin. Younger guy, he'd spent a year as a defensive coordinator. When they hired Cowherd, he was a very young, up-and-coming coach. And those are just the guys they've hired in the last 25, 30 years. So, I don't know. Philip Rivers has a better chance of being a good head coach than any of the turds you just mentioned. And that may very well be true. But I feel like he's got to get some experience coaching at this level. Guys don't just go from being a player to a head coach at the drop of a hat.
Now,
it doesn't happen.
Maybe they do hire him as a quarterback coach, and they were just interviewing because I've heard that most of the time, or some of the time this year, that some of the teams are, quote unquote, using them as like, hey, we're interviewing you for the head coach, but we actually want you to be our OC once we hire the head coach. Would you want to do that? Maybe they're doing that with Philip Rivers, like, hey, you want to be our quarterback coach with Philip Rivers? I don't know.
Or shoot, even the offensive coordinator. Elevate Joe Brady and make him your head coach, which, in my opinion, I think that would be a great move for the Bills. I am a huge fan of Joe Brady and his offensive mindset, the brain that he has for the offensive side of the football. Going back to his days at LSU, leading that Joe Burrow-led offense in 2019 to a national championship, I'm a huge fan of Joe Brady. I think he would do well with Josh Allen as the head coach of that football team, and maybe Philip Rivers as your offensive coordinator.
See, I think it's actually Joe Brady's going to be the OC. He's not going anywhere, and Brian Dable's going to be the head coach. I think Josh Allen wants Dable.
Yeah.
And remember, Josh Allen's in all these interviews because he's one of the helpers to make sure this is picked.
Guys, I know you're being a little hyperbolic, but it wouldn't take 10 years for Peyton Manning to get ready to coach in the league. Not at this point.
No.
I don't disagree. I was probably being a little bit too
Peyton Manning's been out of the
long-winded.
league for what? Has it been 10 years for Peyton?
Right, but what does he do for a living? Right,
Well, right, but I'm saying it's not like Philip. He's not coming like what Philip Rivers is doing. Philip Rivers just played this year,
right?
And now he's going to be possibly a coach.
Yeah, and he was coaching high school football. Peyton, for the last 5 years, longer than that, has been covering the league.
Exactly.
Whether it be via his podcast, whether it be with the Omaha Productions thing and the quarterback and the wide receiver things that they've been doing, or obviously the Manning cast on Monday Night Football. He still covers this league for a living, so he's still around the game and has been able to garner an outsider's perspective of the game of football that I just don't think Philip Rivers has been able to accomplish this to this point in his career. Right? You brought up Jeff Saturday, who, again, was hired as an interim head coach, but he was out of this league for a very, very long time, longer than just 4 years. Longer than just 4 years. What do you think? What do you think is the chance the Bills traded for Mike Tomlin?
No.
What?
No.
Mike Tomlin got fired.
No, Mike Tomlin did not get fired. He's got to be traded.
Oh, really?
You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, no, he just stepped down. So he's still under contract with Pittsburgh. So if anybody wants him, they got to go, kind of like what happened with Sean Payton.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to trade for him.
Interesting. So in reality, you have nothing to compare it against. Just the only guy that's done it in the last 70 years was Norm Van Brocklin, and they were terrible. And Norm Van Brocklin was one of the best quarterbacks of that generation.
Even if you want to compare it to Jeff Saturday was covering the game for a while before they asked him to be the intern.
Yeah, he was was he a radio guy?
He was on
for the Colts or
ESPN.
Yeah, he was covering the game.
He was on that Get Up
right
with Greenberg.
I think it would be a terrible idea.
I wouldn't be mad if they brought him in as an assistant of some kind, but if he's the head coach, Joe Brady, I'm out. See ya.
Yeah, I'd turn in my resignation that day. The minute I found out. You hired Phillip Rivers to be the head coach over me?
Over me?
See ya.
I would have been okay if it was Brian Dable, but Phillip Rivers? Come on now.
That would do me in. 913-586-7965 is our number. We talk a lot about collegiate sports, professional sports, but I have got a story about a middle school basketball game in Kentucky that is one of the more bizarre things that I have read about and watched on video in my life. And I want to talk about it next. You're listening to After Hours. This is Logan Weber alongside my producer tonight, JT Noah. Coming up at 7:30, Jordan Foote of Heavy Sports will be joining us. Stick around here on 96.5, The Fan.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
Men, it's the new year, and for many of us, it's a time of deciding to make positive changes in our lives. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction and are tired of the frustration and embarrassment ED causes, you should call Heartland Men's Health today, because there probably isn't a better resolution you can make than to be done with ED. You see, ED doesn't just affect you, it can also affect your partner, even if they don't talk about it. But here's some great news. If you're like most guys, the treatments at Heartland Men's Health will give you back your sex life. Because our protocols have success rates that work in well over 90% of cases. Seriously, you might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So, make an appointment and get ED out of your life. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. That's heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Most people in radio commercials talk really fast. But we made this one for RV owners. Progressive knows they like the slower pace of RV life. Like this commercial. And they know Progressive will protect their RV at a fair price with discounts. Now here comes the fast part. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Hey y'all, it's the Rocket Roger Clemens here. Spent a lot of time pitching heat. Years later, the pain in my joints remind me of those days, but I'm not looking to sit still, and I definitely am not interested in going under the knife. That's why I chose QC Kinetics.
Not just for elite retired athletes. QC Kinetics gives everyday folks joint pain relief using regenerative treatments that work with your body to help repair joint damage.
No surgery, no long recovery, whether it's your knees, hips, shoulders, or back. My friends at QC Kinetics will help you get moving again so you can get back to doing the things you love.
QC Kinetics medical professionals will look at your x-rays or MRI to determine if you're a good candidate.
I trusted QC Kinetics to help me feel like myself again, and I'm proud to recommend them to you.
Call QC Kinetics today and schedule your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. 816-412-6299.
Football playoffs are here, and Underdog is the best place to get in on the gridiron action because you can make entries and win money. Right now in Missouri, it is incredibly easy to get started over on Underdog. Just choose one of your favorite players and choose if they'll go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, rushing yards, receptions, and more. Get them right, and you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. So what are you waiting for? Download the app today and use promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P. The best place to get in on the gridiron action right now in Missouri. Underdog. Make plays, win money. Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit www.ncbgambling.org.
Hey, it's Dusty Likens, and on behalf of everyone here, I want to thank you for listening to another season of Chiefs football right here on 96.5 The Fan. Although the season didn't go as planned, we saw record listenership these last 6 months, and that's all thanks to our listeners and Chiefs Kingdom. Our coverage will not change these next couple of months as we get you ready for a busy offseason starting with the Combine, free agency, and the NFL Draft. Stay up to date with us on YouTube, Instagram, the Odyssey app, or right there in your car. This is your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
I am what many people would call chronically online. Okay, it comes with the territory. It's kind of part of the job a little bit. I'm constantly on Twitter, on the ESPN app, trying to see what the latest news is. You kind of have to be up to date in a business like ours. But every once in a while, something will come across my feed on social media that leaves me in complete and utter shock, as if it's the first time it's ever happened in the history of humanity. Okay? I watch this video, I go back, I start reading about it. This whole story is so bizarre. So I guess earlier this week, this was last night actually, in Eastern Kentucky, there was a middle school basketball game, the A-Team Championships at Knott County Central High School, okay? This was Emelina and Carr Creek Elementaries squaring off in a basketball game, at which point, towards the end of the fourth quarter, one school was, one of them was up 18 or something. This game was well in hand. A fight broke out all of a sudden. These two kids end up, you watch the video, two kids end up on the floor at midcourt, right? There's a full-blown fist fight happening. And so coaches, the officials come out onto the floor. Administrators from the sideline come out onto the floor. One kid gets up with blood. He's bleeding. And then, as is always the case in these situations, when things need to be de-escalated, well, who decides to hop out onto the floor? Oh, it's the parents. Oh, this is going to end tremendously when the parents come out onto the floor. Well, what ends up happening? The two kids get separated, and they get tended to, and then the parents proceed to start an all-out brawl at midcourt of this middle school boys basketball game in rural Kentucky. One guy in particular rushes out onto the floor. Very short, very, I will say, stout individual who is trying to be held back by multiple individuals, refuses to give ground. So I don't know if it was an off-duty cop or a school resource officer, what have you, comes out onto the floor. They're trying to restrain this guy, calm him down. He refuses to calm down. So what happens? I feel like I can't do it justice, okay? The best part of this story is that there was a play-by-play team at the arena for this game. These two middle-aged dudes from Kentucky calling this middle school basketball game, and their play-by-play did not stop there.
This game is over. And they just tased dry. This ball game is over.
And they just tased
This ball
right.
game is over.
You think?
Oh, no, really, dude.
It's so
it's
good,
so good
man.
because I have family in Kentucky, so I can just understand them. They want their moonshine real quick, and they're like, hey, man, this game is over.
I'm sorry.
You can hear the taser in the background, too, at the beginning.
And they just tased dry.
They just tased right.
This ball game is over.
This ball game is over. Take a shot with me real quick, Tony. we got a ball game over.
Why did he say it so calmly? Like, is this has Ryan been tased before? Like, how can you? They just tased Ryan. Like, it's just a regular Thursday night
there
in
goes
Eastern
Ryan
Kentucky.
Man, Ryan got tased again for the third time in 4 weeks.
Hey, here's an undervalued part of this whole scenario, right? After this ball game is over, listen to the stands.
Dry. This ball game is over.
We have cheering.
Woo, yeah!
We have cheering from parents and other spectators in the stands. Wow. I mean, that's absolutely phenomenal to me. You know,
this game is over. Ryan's tased again, guys.
Yeah. Somebody on Twitter was like, he just said they tased Ryan like Ryan has been tased before. Yeah, fair. They just tased Ryan. In 49 states, it's just middle school basketball. They just tased Ryan is without a doubt the greatest call an announcer has made since Do You Believe in Miracles?
It would have just been better if it was like, they tased Ryan again.
Like, the video in and of itself is so entertaining to, like, watch this guy acting like he's this big, he's trying to rip away from people and go after somebody, presumably, to then just go completely limp at half court and fall directly on his face. And then the chef's kiss of the entire video, they just tased Ryan.
The ball game is over. You know what would have been you know what would have been great is if we had announcers for when the referee decided to flop in that high school game down south. I don't know if you've seen that one. Have you seen that one? Where the referee just falls down?
Yes, I have seen that.
Oh man. There goes Tommy flopping again on the floor.
Yep. And the best part, unfortunately for the rest of us, that happened in Eudora.
Yeah, I was about to say, this happened in Missouri.
In Kansas.
Oh, yeah. Well, Kansas City area.
Yeah. It was. I was on the Kansas side in Eudora. It was Eudora against Bonner Springs.
Oh, Bonner Springs.
Yeah. And the whole video, like, the video is so weird.
He just laid there for the longest time.
Yeah, it seemed like there was some chippiness happening underneath the basket. Official calls a technical foul on a girl, comes walking over to the sideline, at which point the girl stops. Her and her coach come up and start talking to the official, and this guy just full-blown feigning goats on the floor.
He just falls and then just lays there for the longest time.
And like the initial video that came out looked bad enough, but you couldn't really tell if like the girl put her hands on him or if the coach pushed the referee or whatnot. But watching the other angle, watching the closer angle is absolutely outrageous. They never touched him.
No, they never did.
Nobody touched this guy.
He did better than soccer players do when it comes to flopping.
Yeah, and he just laid there limp for quite a while, I might add. The latest is that this official is taking a step away from officiating. I could imagine.
You don't say.
Yeah. It was determined that the appropriate course of action is to have the official take a break from active officiating in order to pursue appropriate outcomes for the official and all stakeholders. What? I'm not sure. Ask my fellow officials, coaches, athletic directors, etc. about me. My reputation is stellar. I don't want any additional punishment to that player, coach, or school. It was not their fault.
Well, no, really. No, wow.
No,
Dude,
dog.
That's crazy, man. I didn't know.
Pretty sure everybody on planet Earth knows that wasn't his fault.
I saw Helen Keller even say, wow, I saw him not even get touched.
Yeah. According to this article from Yahoo Sports, the official has a medical condition and is planning to visit a neurologist, or was planning to visit a neurologist this week or early next week. So maybe it was something to do with that. I don't know, but
there goes Tommy flopping again.
If it was, I mean, that's a bizarre coincidence. A technical foul. The coach and the player are like trying to communicate with you about like what happened or why you're calling that, and just a full-blown thank the academy level fall. What's more bizarre, the middle school fight or the referee flopping after being nudged? frankly, the referee flopping is more bizarre than a fight at a basketball game, unfortunately.
With the commentary is better, funnier.
I don't know what it is, man. Like I said earlier in the show, like I do a lot of officiating for like youth sports. Dude, it is worse than it's ever been. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is with parents nowadays.
I used to umpire softball. God.
It's the worst, man.
So bad.
And I did it when I was in I started doing it when I was in high school. It was awful.
Yep.
I'm just a 16, 17-year-old kid collecting like $15 a game to officiate 3rd and 4th grade boys and girls basketball, and I've got parents berating me from the sidelines. Berating me. And I'm like, are we serious, right? Is it game 7 of the NBA Finals? Like, oh my God, shut up. And the best part is the parents that are always the loudest are the ones that have no idea what they're talking about.
Absolutely nothing.
It's an over-the-back foul. What? It's a what? Could you repeat that for me? Over-the-back foul? Fun fact there, buddy. That's not a thing. It's a push. The over-the-back foul does not exist at the high school or collegiate level. So therefore, it doesn't exist at the middle school or elementary school level either. That's a travel, 3 seconds in the lane. You want the whistle? Come down here and do it yourself.
Yeah, come on. Yeah.
Please, I beg of you. Let's see you do it.
I would umpire softball and baseball in high school, and I was a big boy, 410 pounds, and so there was this one game. There was a call at second base. My back is to third base making the call. I called the girl out. Third base coach, who has no angle, comes over to me and goes, "What was that call?" I was like, "She was out." And he goes, "Are you sure?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, I think you need to lose some weight because I don't think your eyes could see the ground with that call." I go, "Wow, all right, bud.
Yeah,
see the parking lot,
That's
bud.
a see ya moment right there.
See a parking lot." And my brother, we would umpire together. He goes, "Did you just throw him out?" I go, "Yeah." And then I told him, he goes, "Oh, I see why you threw him out." I was like,
Yep.
Yeah.
In about a 45-second span one time, I threw out a player, a child, who punched another kid, the coach of that child's team, who also happened to be his father.
There you go.
And their mother. Boom. I threw a whole family out of a youth basketball game one time.
Get out of here!
3rd and 4th grade boys, and I was given a profanity-laced rant in front of an entire gym full of people.
3rd and 4th graders?
3rd and 4th graders.
Great. Yeah,
yep.
that's first level.
See ya. You're gone.
Hook 'em.
I mean, and people wonder why there's an officiating shortage.
Yeah. And you wonder why there's
BS
a teacher
like
shortage.
that people don't want to deal with.
And teachers have it worse, and you wonder why teachers are short.
Yeah. And I mean, I myself am not a parent, but I can guarantee you one thing. I will not and would never act like some of these people act in these settings. It's deplorable behavior.
It's ludicrous.
It's also embarrassing for your child. Think about if that guy that was tased is somebody's father that was playing in that game. Imagine the embarrassment of that kid with a video of their father being tased on the court in a middle school basketball game all over social media right now. It is a viral video on social media right now that this boy, this child, and any other children this person may have is going to have to walk around with at school. Good work, Dad. Nice.
You're so awesome, man.
That's nice. I'm sure that's really going to help your kids wanting to speak to you in 10 years. 913-586-7965
you go for a
is our
job
number.
interview and they're like, "Wait, was your dad the one that got tased?" Oh, yeah, that was a great video.
Absolutely outrageous, dude. Yeah. Was your dad Ryan? Was your dad Ryan? Ryan just got
Ryan
tased.
Again. Ryan got tased again.
Ryan got tased. This ball game is over.
See ya.
Absolutely ridiculous, man.
And they just tased Ryan. This ball game is over.
They just tased Ryan. That means the game's over. They tased him. It's over.
It's over. That's officially chalk it up. We're going home. Logan Weber alongside JT Noah. You're listening to After Hours. Coming up, Jordan Foote will join us from Heavy Sports to talk about the AFC and NFC championship games, maybe a little bit of NBA along the way. That's next here on After Hours, 96.5, The Fan.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
Fellas, listen up. It's 2026, and this is going to be your best year yet when it comes to sex. You know why? Because you're finally going to take the advice and try chewable tablets from Blue Chew. Blue Chew's tablets help you feel and perform at your best, stronger, harder, longer lasting, like someone gave your downstairs a pep talk in a gym membership. Be more confident where it counts. Blue Chew is a small chew for a big difference. You'll have flashbacks to your glory days, and dating has just got longer and better for everyone. Blue Chew's licensed medical providers work with you to find the right ingredient for your individual prescription. Just like how we love to watch the athletes that we root for show up during the game's most exciting moments, you should be able to show up when it matters during life's most exciting moments. You can discover your options at BlueChew.com and get your first month free when you use the promo code KFNZ at checkout. You just got to cover $5 for shipping. That's it. Go to BlueChew.com, use the promo code KFNZ, and get your first month free. Then you'll be ready to chew it and do it.
Jewelry Graham. Hi, I'm Brian, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. We have just the right gift for your sweetheart this Valentine's Day. Any style, any budget. Like heart-shaped necklaces, birthstones, or hand-matched diamond studs. Getting engaged? Create a dream ring and choose from natural and lab-grown diamonds in all shapes and sizes. Come see us in store or at shaneco.com because a friend wants you to win Valentine's Day. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
I wish I'd gotten treated for my erectile dysfunction sooner. Men, I hear this all the time from our patients. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if ED is a problem in your life, resolve to get it treated today and stop having it affect you and the one you love. ED is simply a medical condition, and it's fully treatable. And at Heartland Men's Health, we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. Which means if you're like most guys, your ED will be a thing of the past. In fact, you could be having great sex within a day or two of your first appointment, and you'll likely find you're performing like you haven't in a long time. It's the new year. Resolve to get your ED treated and change your life. Call us at Heartland Men's Health. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
I'm worth more.
I'm worth more.
I'm worth a lot more.
And I completely agree. That's why I'll pay more for your car at GiveMeTheVin.com. That's the name of our new campaign. I'm worth more. You are worth more, and your car's worth more. And that's why I will pay more. And remember, if I don't beat the price on a CarMax or a Carvana deal, I'll pay you $100 at GiveMeTheVin.com.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Revitalize your bathroom with big savings at Lowe's. Get up to 40% off select vanities and free delivery during our bath savings event. Plus, get up to 40% off select shower heads. No matter what style you're looking for, we've got you covered. Shop for your bathroom refresh at Lowe's. We help, you save. While supplies last, selection varies by location.
What's up, everybody? I'm Nick Costos, and watching sports isn't a hobby, it's a lifestyle. And my show is not a job, it's a passion. From the NFL playoffs to the NBA and everything in between, celebrate sports with me every day on You Better You Bet from 9 a.m. to noon Eastern. Download the Odyssey app now and listen to Westwood One Sports from anywhere. It's You Better You Bet with me, Nick Costos, live and interactive Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern, presented by BetMGM.
Trips to the Super Bowl on the line this weekend. Patriots, Broncos in the AFC title game. Rams, Seahawks on the NFC side. And here to break it down with us right now is Jordan Foote of Heavy Sports, longtime writer, reporter covering the Kansas City Chiefs. And Jordan, this is, I have to say, these 4 teams, I'm not sure anybody anticipated, other than maybe the Los Angeles Rams, any of these squads getting to this point in the year, but here we are. I mean, can you imagine talking about a Patriots-Broncos AFC championship game back in August?
No chance. And you can maybe find a Broncos fan or two in Kansas City who predicted that they would get to the AFC title game. And you're thinking, okay, some good things have to break your way. You're probably not going to win 14, 15 games. Like you have to luck into a 1 seed as maybe a 13-win team. have some crazy injury luck, have some things really roll your way. And for the most part, they just played super well throughout the season. They had a bunch of come from behind one-score wins, reminiscent of the 2024-25 Kansas City Chiefs. And now here they are against the New England team that, listen, before the year, I expected them to be maybe a feisty 8-9 team or a 9-8 wild card squad that snuck in and shocked a couple people, but they blew that out of the water, right? And won 14 games right in the thick of the race for the 1 seed. I'm with you that the Rams on the NFC side, some people could have predicted that. I was pretty high on their outlook for this year and thought they could reach this game, but even Seattle with that defense figured they'd be limited by the quarterback spot, and so far they're in position to maybe make a run to the Super Bowl here.
Looking first at this Patriots-Broncos game, I think that even with a healthy Bo Nix, I would lean towards New England, but with him out with the fractured ankle, Jarrett Stidham is going to get the nod for Denver. I mean, this feels like a game that the Patriots absolutely should win on Sunday, right?
Yeah, no doubt in my mind that they should win the game. And you hit the nail on the head with this Denver offense, even with Bo Nix. Yes, they played very well in several of the fourth quarters that they were in. Yes, Nix got a lot better over the course of the games, and I think over the course of the season he improved his play. But during the regular season, they were 19th in points per drive, 18th in yards per drive, 20th in time per drive. This is a middling to almost bottom third in several categories offense. Their success rate was nothing crazy on paper, nothing crazy to write home about besides a great offensive line. The run game up and down. Dobbins got banged up. The receiving core, not anything spectacular. They do have Cortland Sutton, who's awesome. They did try to invest in the tight end group. So I'm not trying to discount Denver as an offense that absolutely didn't deserve to get this far. They showed that they did. And that's before Bo Nix got hurt. Now you bring in Jarrett Stidham, who hasn't really thrown a competitive pass. He has played in some games. Beyond then, a couple kneel downs, rushing attempts, things like that. He hasn't thrown a pass since January 7th of 2024. It's been over 2 calendar years. This guy, we don't know too much about him, and perhaps that can work in Denver's favor as an element of surprise. But if that is your biggest case in point of, hey, we have the chance to win, we can surprise them, it's the AFC title game. That's not exactly the leg that you want to stand on going into Sunday.
Yeah, it's. Jarrett Stidham is trying to follow the sort of Nick Foles method of getting a team to a Super Bowl and winning it. I can't say that I'm super convinced. There's something that doesn't feel right about this, in my opinion, Jordan. The Patriots were the team to beat in professional football for 2 decades. They had 5 years of mediocrity, and here they are again on Sunday, 4 quarters away from another trip to a Super Bowl. That can't be right. It just doesn't feel like society, we collectively as football people, should allow this to happen.
You want to know the craziest part, Logan?
Let me hear it.
I think that on paper, this team still isn't very good. Yes, their schedule is going to get a lot tougher, and I'm not sure they're going to win 14 games next year, but they very well could have a good offseason, and even if they go 11-6, 12-5, they could be a better team a year from now. And Drake May's taken 5 sacks in his first 2 playoff games. That's each of them. He's been careless with the ball. He has a lot of negative plays that have crept up throughout the course of the season. This is a top 5 to 10 offense, a solid yet unspectacular defense, with a bunch of players that are just solid. It's a very, very solid team, and sometimes that can get you to a conference championship game. I do think that the winner of this Sunday battle is going to end up losing fairly convincingly, I would say, maybe 10 points plus on Super Bowl Sunday, but New England is ahead of schedule in the rebuild. They have their quarterback. They have their head coach. All the suffering of 3, 4, 5 years after Tom Brady left, and even with Mac Jones, they had a very solid season mixed in there. They're just favorites in the world, and the Patriots seem to be one of those, ahead of a offseason that probably will see them become even better.
And you talk about the NFC side of things. Many are calling this Seahawks-Rams game the de facto Super Bowl, including Kansas City's own Nick Wright on his show this week. Do you share in that sentiment that it kind of feels like whoever wins this NFC title game Sunday night is going to be the proverbial favorite to win the Super Bowl?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Kansas City's own Jordan Foote is also going out on just a massive limb and saying that, where Seattle's defense is beyond championship caliber. Like, if it wasn't for the Houston Texans, we would be talking the heck out of this defense. It's just an awesome, phenomenal unit. And yes, they're the best, I think, against the run. They're also very, very good against the pass, despite not having an absolutely star-studded secondary like Houston. They still have enough pieces to certainly get the job done. And then the Rams, their defense has slipped quite a bit over the course of the season. I'd say it's more of a average unit than the one on paper that looks like a top 10 one. Offensively, though, when they're clicking, and that's a big if because they're more frustrating than anything, I believe. When Stafford's clicking, Puka Nacua is healthy, Devontae Adams is out there, the run game is working. Their offensive line has kind of punched above its weight throughout the year, and I think some of that's starting to get exposed against better teams. But with Sean McVay dialing up plays, hard to find a more effective or more explosive, more productive, scarier, battle-tested, whatever words you want to use to describe it, that Rams offense gives them a chance. So I think Seattle on paper is the better team. Both of these teams should beat whoever comes out of the AFC, but only one of them can win, and that's been me stalling for a couple minutes on my pick. I kind of lean that Seattle is better, but it's hard to bet against McVay and Stafford, so I'm kind of thinking they find a way to get the job done on the road and come away with another trip to the Super Bowl.
So it sounds as if you're predicting a Rams-Patriots Super Bowl in this scenario. Of those two teams, I kind of sort of reading between the tea leaves here, know where you would lean with this. Of those two teams, who do you think is going to hoist the Lombardi?
It's going to be the Rams, and I don't think it's that they're unstoppable because, again, they've been very up and down. They've been frustrating. I don't trust them as far as I can throw them, but the Patriots are a year ahead of schedule. We say that a lot, and when teams lose in big games, you can it's similar to the confetti test of quarterbacks where you're looking to see if you can close your eyes and envision them hoisting the Lombardi with the confetti falling down. The commentator test of, and sometimes it's a curse of, oh, this team will be back. They have, years of good play ahead of them. That probably is going to be true for the Patriots. If they do end up losing on Sunday, or if they get to the Super Bowl and drop that game, they're going to be back among the better teams in the NFL with one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, one of the better coaches in the NFL, an up-and-coming run game, good defense. All of that can be true. They just aren't quite there yet. So would it completely shock me if they messed around and lost to the Broncos? Probably not. Would it shock me whatsoever if the Rams lost to the Seahawks, who I think are a better team? Again, absolutely not. But if that ends up being the matchup, and that's what my gut's telling me right now, I'd say maybe a way too early, maybe not way too early, 27-17 type outcome.
I wanted to have more time to do this, but we ran kind of long on the previous segment. But I want to give you a couple minutes here. I know you're a big NBA guy, as am I. We don't have many opportunities to talk about it in this area. But, it's about the halfway point of the NBA season, maybe a little beyond it. What are your impressions of the league thus far? On the Eastern Conference side, I thought the Pistons would be good. I didn't have them pegged as the 1 seed this deep into the year. I didn't have Boston still competing without Jason Tatum. But I think the one thing that doesn't shock anybody is that the Oklahoma City Thunder are head and shoulders seemingly above the rest of the league.
Yeah, I think once Oklahoma City figures out their jump shooting, there's just been some weird variance there. I'm not sure they need to necessarily make a trade, but this is a team that last postseason played with its food a little bit, and I think their run this year is probably going to be easier, even though Denver has improved. San Antonio looks really good. I think Houston can, if they figure it out, give teams quite a bit of trouble. But the team that has my eye right now, I guess there's two of them. One I don't trust whatsoever. One of them I could be talked into. Philadelphia is just captivating to me with Joel Embiid looking really dominant one night, not moving at all the other night. not great depth on that team, but when it all clicks, it clicks. And then for Boston, once Tatum gets back, and again, if he comes back, because we don't know what the timeline's going to be, how that disrupts the flow a little bit, I'm not writing them off, especially with the Knicks kind of slumping a little bit, as a team that could come out of the Eastern Conference. And do I think that any of those teams out east are going to win the finals against OKC or push them to 7 games or push Denver or whoever that West representative is? Probably not, but Tatum is a monumental piece, a top 5 to 7 player in the NBA, and I think we've kind of forgotten that because Brown has been so good, but the Celtics absolutely have my attention right now.
As a Celtics fan, I love you saying that, but the premise of does Jason Tatum come back at some point this year does give me a great deal of pause. But you're exactly right, Jordan. Appreciate you taking the time, being able to talk a little NFL, and being able to feed into my NBA fandom a little bit tonight. Really, really do appreciate it.
Yep, talk soon, buddy.
All righty, man. That is Jordan Foote. He is a writer-reporter covering the Chiefs for Heavy Sports. He's been covering the Chiefs for many, many years up to this point, and he is an NBA aficionado, not unlike myself. 913-586-7965 is our number. It is official. The presumptive number 1 pick in the NFL draft has declared. We'll talk about that next here on After Hours. Logan Weber alongside JT Noah, 96.5, The Fan.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
FanDuel is turning on playoff mode. All customers get a profit boost pack with every NFL playoff game day. Each game day during the championship round, you'll get a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts waiting for you in the app. More boosts mean more ways to level up your playoff bets. We are just a couple of weeks away from the NFL season completely winding down, and we're going to find out who plays in the big game. Pick the matchups you believe in, take your shot on an upset, and build a parlay that fits this championship moment. Then apply those profit boosts and go for an even bigger payout to keep the playoffs fun rolling along. We are just a couple of weeks away from the NFL season completely winding down, and we're going to find out who plays in the big game. Visit FanDuel.com/local and grab your profit boost pack for every NFL playoff game day. FanDuel is the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. Must be 21 and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Bonus issue is non-withdrawable profit book token. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Here's news that surprises no one. Indiana's Fernando Mendoza officially announcing today with the most linked-in video of all time. I mean, it's outrageous. I mean, the guy's fit in this video. He's wearing like the button, the 2-button quarter zip. It's got the collared shirt and all the things. He has officially announced that he will be entering the NFL draft. He is the odds-on overwhelming slam dunk number 1 overall pick for the Las Vegas Raiders. I think that they would be completely foolish to not take him with the number 1 overall pick. With Dante Moore not in this class any longer, he is so obviously the top quarterback in this class, and they need a quarterback like they need air to breathe at this point. Absolutely not surprising that Fernando Mendoza is entering the NFL draft. He will be the number 1 overall pick, which, if you're a Chiefs fan, you don't like the fact that he's going to the Raiders and could potentially be their franchise quarterback, something that they haven't had in, since Rich Gannon, back when he won that MVP in, 2001? At least it opens up a spot. It's a draft pick that you can kind of pencil in right now and could be just what you need to open the door for some of those prospects that you would like to pick in this year's draft, with the Chiefs sitting at number 9. 913-586-7965 is our number. More coming up in the 8 o'clock hour. We'll get back into some conversation regarding the Kansas City Chiefs and MLB. The Major League Baseball coming out with their top 100 players list, and there are a handful of Royals on it. We'll discuss that next here on After Hours. Logan Weber here with you alongside my producer tonight, JT Noah. You're listening to 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Doug. There's nowhere I wouldn't go to help someone customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual, even if it means playing in a football game.
Boom! 42! You're going down, Doug!
Oh, yeah? Your price on car insurance when you customize and save is going down.
Hey!
Limu? What are you doing on their team? Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Men, the new year is here, and if you're like many of us, you're ready to improve your health. But if you're feeling low energy, not sleeping well, or not seeing results in the gym, keeping that resolution can be tough. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if those symptoms sound familiar, we can likely help. They often point to low testosterone, and treating low T is what we do. But this year, we're also helping men go further with 4 targeted body composition plans featuring growth hormone peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more, designed to boost energy, support metabolism, enhance recovery, and accelerate fat loss. With our low T treatments combined with our body composition programs, most men notice real improvements. More energy, better focus, improved sleep, stronger workouts, and often a renewed sex drive as well. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the same day, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or visit heartlandmenshealth.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
The football playoffs are here, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all of the gridiron action. Right now, you can make entries and win money in Missouri. And playing on Underdog is so easy. Just choose if your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats, like touchdowns, rushing yards, receptions, and more. Get them right, and you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. And I love playing on the Underdog app. Not only do I like football, but I love basketball and hockey as well. I can mix and match selections from each sport into one entry to see what I do. So what are you waiting for? Download the app today and use promo code BOB to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code BOB. Underdog. Make plays, win money. Must be 18 and over and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms. _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Hey, it's almost Andy Reid. Who knew dressing up for a Halloween ball would change my life forever? Now I get to celebrate with the best fans and everything Kansas City. Oh, yeah! My journey also led me to Renner Garage Door, Casey's go-to team for garage door repair, replacement, and service since 1956. Renner features an MVP lineup from Deldon, Amar, and Liftmaster.
R-E-N-N-E-R, R-E-N-N-E-R.
When it comes to affordable term life insurance, everyone's whistling the Big Lou tune. If you're over 50, maybe a bit porky, or have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost about $200 a month. Even if you're not in perfect health, call Big Lou, because he specializes in finding big chunks of affordable term life insurance for just about everyone. Don't let diabetes or other health glitches keep you from owning $500,000 to $1 million or more of term life insurance. For affordable term life insurance, call Big Lou. Don't hesitate. Call 800-700-6898, 800-700-6898, or visit biglou.com.
Call Big Lou, don't hesitate. 800-700-6898. Call Big Lou, don't hesitate. 800-700-6898. Visit biglou.com.
Vern's Hot Stove Show, Thursday nights starting at 6, right here on 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
The MLB's top 100 list came to completion yesterday after weeks of players being announced onto this list. It is a cumulative thing that was voted upon, I believe, by players in across baseball. And 4 Royals players came out somewhere on the list. Let's start at the bottom with Vinny Pasquantino at number 93, his first time appearing on the MLB's top 100. After playing in 160 games last year, he hit 32 home runs. He had 113 RBIs. He finished with a season batting average of .264. And when you look across Major League Baseball last year, he was among the best in baseball in that category. His 33 home runs was 32 home runs was tied for the 17th most in baseball. His 113 RBIs was the 6th best in baseball last season. He's also a pretty good glove at first base. So he lands at number 93. Cole Reagans is at number 89. He fell from last year to this year. In 13 games, he had a 4.67 ERA, 98 strikeouts to 20 walks. The ERA was a bit skewed, in my view, because of the injuries and the lack of starts. His analytical numbers were quite a bit better than his 4.67 ERA indicates, but he gave up runs and therefore falls quite a few spots to number 89. Maikel Garcia was at number 65 on the MLB's top 100, got a massive extension this offseason. He was an all-star this past year. He had 16 home runs, 74 ribbies. He hit .286 last year and racked up a WAR of nearly 6 last season at third base, which was the second best among corner infielders in baseball, behind only Jose Ramirez. His 5.8 WAR was actually tied with Jose Ramirez and was around 15th in Major League Baseball. That 286 batting average put him in 21st among all players in the big leagues. And when you look at what he did specifically compared to other third basemen, he had the second best batting average among third basemen. He had the most number of doubles, the second most triples. He had pretty good. I mean, he finished tied middle of the pack, 16 home runs. His 74 RBIs was tied for the fifth most among third basemen. Very, very good year for the Royals' third baseman. And then, surprise, surprise, Bobby Witt Jr. is on this list at number 3. Hard to argue with the two guys he's behind, Aaron Judge being number 2 and Shohei Ohtani being at number 1. But what Bobby Witt Jr. has done to this point in his career is nothing short of miraculous. And by all standards, the guy had a down year last year, hitting .295, 23 home runs, 88 RBIs. He stole 38 bases. He had an OPS of 852 and a WAR of 7.1, which was the third best in baseball behind only Aaron Judge and the Mariners' Cal Raleigh. Bobby Witt Jr., to this point in his career, is doing some utterly remarkable things. I have to find the exact statistic that I saw earlier today, which was just incredible to look at. Here are the 4 players, JT, in the history of Major League Baseball to have 700 or more hits, 150 or more doubles, and 100 or more home runs through the player's first 4 seasons. In the history of this league, in the history of this game, 4 guys have done it. Bobby Witt Jr., Albert Pujols, Ted Williams, and Chuck Klein.
That's a list.
And here's the craziest part about it. So Bobby, 722 hits, which is actually less than the other 3 guys. Pujols had 787 hits in his first 4 years. That's absurd. It's just a shade under 200 hits a year in your first 4 years of big league play. Outrageous. Bobby had 151 doubles, which is the fewest on the list. Chuck Klein had 152. Ted had 154. Pujols had 189. And then Bobby with 105 home runs, also the fewest on this list. Chuck to 125. Ted Williams 127. Pujols 160. So Pujols had nearly 30 more hits than any of these guys. He had 30 more home runs than any of these guys, 35 to be exact. Doubles, I should say. He had 33 more home runs than the next closest guy on this list. But here is the great separator for Bobby Witt Jr. Through 4 seasons, Albert Pujols had only 13 stolen bases. Ted Williams had 11. Chuck Klein had 16. Bobby had 148. So he is the only guy in the history of baseball to have 700 or more hits, 150 or more doubles, 100 or more home runs, and 100 or more stolen bases in 4 seasons. The first 4 seasons, I should say, of a player's career. Only guy to do it ever. That's ridiculous. 913-586-7965 is our number. Somebody in the text line at 913 says, I think you could make an argument for him being ahead of Judge, not only for his speed and defense, but also if he was on the Yankees and in that ballpark, I think he easily gets 40 or 50 home runs. I don't know about 50. 50 feels like a lot. I think Bobby Bobby hits 30 home runs at Yankee Stadium this year. He probably hits closer to 40 each of the last two previous seasons, 2024 and 2023. We'll see what happens here coming up in 2026 with the new changes they're making to the ballpark. I would still probably put Aaron Judge ahead of Bobby. If I'm being completely honest with myself, if I'm taking off the Royals hat, if I'm removing the rose-colored glasses, I have no problem with Bobby Witt Jr. being third on this list. No problem at all. Nobody's ahead of Shohei. Shohei Ohtani might be the best baseball player ever. There's going to be some people that don't like me saying that, but I'm sorry. I can't, in my heart of hearts, put like Babe Ruth ahead of Shohei Ohtani. I can't do it. I'm not going to put a guy who played 100 years ago in a league that was not integrated ahead of somebody who in 2025 is capable of hitting 500 home runs and striking out 200 batters at the same time. That's what I'm sorry. How many less home runs would Judge have hit at Kauffman Stadium? What do you have, 53 last year? Judge probably hits 45.
Yeah, I would say 44, 45, yeah.
If he's playing at Kauffman. Just ballparking it, I
mean,
would
that
say.
one home run he hit last year was like almost over the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. I mean, Judge, for the most part, when Aaron Judge gets a hold of a baseball, it is a no-doubter in all 30 ballparks. But he did, I think there were like 4 or 5 times last year where he hit a home run, and it was like, Yankee Stadium is literally the only ballpark where that's a home run. That is a fly out in 29 of 30 major league ballparks, according to like Spot Track and all those guys who, I hate to say the word again, track that sort of thing.
I mean, you think about it, Boston also has that short little porch over
short porch in right field.
Yeah.
It's a short field and left too. It's just the monster is.
Yeah. You just got to get it up over the monster.
You got to put it at an angle where it'll get up over the green monster. But he would get pitched around like Bobby in the Royals lineup. Yeah, I mean, a little bit. Aaron Judge gets pitched around plenty. He walked 124 times last year. Nobody in baseball gets pitched around more than Aaron Judge does. Because at least the Royals had Vinny Pasquantino hitting behind Aaron Judge. There was nobody in the Yankees lineup outside of Judge that truly terrified you. How many more home runs does Bobby have with the new dimensions? The numbers fluctuate. They're anywhere between like 4 and 10. From what I've seen studies that say he would have hit 30 home runs last year. I've seen articles or studies that said he would have only hit 26 home runs last year. It just depends on what site you're looking at. So anywhere, I would say, just to play it safe, somewhere between 6 and 8 more home runs he would have hit last year. He'd have been closer to 29 or 30 than the 23 that he hit. But again, Bobby had kind of a down year compared to what he did in 2024, where he hit 330 and 30 home runs, 100 RBIs, stole 30 bags. He had a ridiculous season in 2024. Last year, he regressed slightly to the tune of a 295 season with 100 RBI, with another absolutely outrageous stat line, but it wasn't as good as he was in 24. Somebody else said, Ohtani is the best player ever. I'm with you. I mean, I will hear out an argument for Barry Bonds because I think Barry Bonds deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I think prior to the arrival of Shohei Ohtani, Barry Bonds was the best player in the history of baseball. I will hear arguments for Ken Griffey Jr. You want to throw Tony Gwynn's name into there? I will hear it because I don't feel like people give Tony Gwynn nearly enough love. Okay, some of those Tony Gwynn stats are the most outrageous things in sports. I mean, just how good he was at not striking out, putting bat on the ball. I don't know if there's ever been a player in the modern era of baseball that was better. Person in the text line at 913 says, guys, I bet Bobby hits 35 or 40 home runs this year. We're making the playoffs. I hope you're right. I say right now, this Royals baseball team is around 88 wins. if you factor in the potential of Carter Jensen and a bounce back from Jack Caglione.
Jack Caglione.
Does Cags make the jump from year 1 to year 2? Can Carter Jensen continue to hit the ball well the way that he did at the end of last season? I don't know. There's a lot of question marks with this Royals team. They answered some of those questions. I will definitely, I mean, some of the questions that surrounded this team have been answered, but there are still considerable amount more. Does Carter Jensen continue to hit well? Is Cags able to take the next step, or are we going to have to begin having a level of concern around Jack Caglione? When do we finally see the age make its mark, and is it this year with some of the Royals veterans? Salvador Perez. Seth Lugo didn't look great after he signed the extension. Is it Father Time? We'll have to see. Michael Wacha, another veteran guy on this team. Is the bullpen, namely Ursig and Estevez and Daniel Lynch, can those guys be as good this season as they were a season ago? Can this team be healthier than they were a season ago, especially in the pitching department? Those are all things, I mean, obviously, happens every year. Those are things that are going to be a huge deterrent for this team one way or the other. Do you think there is any way we make a trade for a bat? It doesn't feel like it at this point. They kicked the tires for a while on Brendan Donovan in St. Louis. They kicked the tires for a while on Jarren Duran in Boston. Didn't seem like it got anywhere. I think that they're
like asking
pretty
prices
comfortable.
are pretty too high for what
It's
they want to go.
Very expensive. I mean, Cole Reagans for Jarren Duran straight up was outrageous. Absolutely outrageous.
And if you do it, then you're going to have an outcry by the fans. Like, why would you do that? So, yeah, it was smart by them not to do it. That was a horrible one-for-one trade.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I would have rather given up Chris Bubich and Blake Mitchell for Jarren Duran than give up Reagan straight up.
That's what I was hoping they would give up, but I don't think Boston was nudging.
Boston didn't seem to buy in too much on that. So, no, I don't think they will. I think the Royals, from what they've said publicly, they seem pretty comfortable with what they've put together as of right now. I think they like what they got with Isaac Collins, who, you know, I mean, folks, let's not forget, this is a guy who finished top 5 in the NL Rookie of the Year voting last year. He hit 260, 9 home runs, so he's not a long ball hitter, 54 RBIs. He walks at a pretty great, he had 57 walks last year. He had a 370 on base percentage. If that's what Isaac Collins is capable of, 370, I don't care if he hits 240. But if he has a 370 on base percentage towards the bottom of this Royals lineup, hitting in like that 7, 8, 9 spot, allow for the lineup to turn over for Bobby and Jack and Salvi to drive them in, I'm all for it. We'll see. The Royals seem to like what they've got in him. They like what they've got in Lane Thomas as sort of a floating outfielder for this team. I'm not super high on that one. I mean, he only hit 160 last year in pretty limited at-bats for the Guardians, so I mean, we'll see, but I don't love it. They tried. You can't say they didn't try. I mean, we heard report after report after report about Jarren Duran. We heard multiple reports about Brendan Donovan. The Red Sox wanted more than the Royals were willing to give, and I applaud them for it because it was too much to give. 913-586-7965. How about some college basketball news? Big-time matchups for KU and K-State, wink, wink, and Mizzou tomorrow afternoon as well, as they're trying to bounce back after losing 2 straight in SEC play. We'll discuss that next here on After Hours. Logan Weber, JT Noah, 96.5, The Fan.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
At Casey's, when someone asked for a cup of coffee that wouldn't put them in debt, but still had freshly ground beans, rich flavor, and a price that starts with a 9 and ends with a D9 cents, we were too nice to say no. Now get a small coffee, just 99 cents. Limited time only. See store for details.
Hi, I'm Lexi, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company, where we're all about you.
Your style, your budget, your dream engagement ring. We'll take total care of you. First, come browse all the beautiful settings in our cases. Take your time and try on as many as you want. You'll know when you put your ring on. Your heart will skip a beat. Now, onto your center stone. We can look at different diamond shapes and sizes until we find the perfect match. Come visit us in store, because a friend wants you to get exactly what you want. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
When winter's chill hits, trust Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter. For a limited time, get up to $2,000 in instant savings on a new HVAC system from Hamilton. Our pros offer expert installation, flexible financing, and energy-efficient options that can help lower your energy bills. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews are great reasons to trust Hamilton. But don't wait. This is a limited time offer. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
Start the new year by moving, not hurting. If joint pain's holding you back, then listen up. There's a way to get real relief without surgery, without downtime, and without putting your life on pause. QC Kinetics delivers regenerative treatments that actually help your body repair the areas causing you pain. Those achy knees, hips, shoulders, your back, wherever it hurts. Instead of facing an invasive operation that sidelines you for months, these treatments happen right in the office and you go about your day. Skip the 3 to 6 months of recovery. Skip the pain. Skip the invasive surgery. Imagine this instead. You're moving stronger and better and planning the year you want. Game-changing regenerative treatments from QC Kinetics. January is supposed to be your clean slate, so make it one. Stop managing the pain and start solving it with QC Kinetics. Call now for your free consultation. 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. Off 435 in State Line and in Gladstone, it's QC Kinetics.
Wouldn't you like to take a vacation from your bills? Well, you can. With credit card balances at an all-time high and Golden Oak's 4.5% rate, you could be saving thousands of dollars after a simple phone call. Call today and get your cash in as little as 14 days and make no payments for 2 months. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Land Insured my blues.
5.442 APR, FHA 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit, additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
FanDuel is turning on playoff mode. All customers get a profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. Each game day, during the championship round, you'll find a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts waiting for you in the app. More boosts? Well, it means more ways to level up your playoff bets. Maybe you think one of the home teams go down this weekend and it's an underdog that gets it done. How about you take a shot on other upsets, or you take a look at your favorite prop bet involving one of these quarterbacks to throw for 3 or more touchdowns? Then you apply your profit boost and go after even bigger payouts while the playoffs keep on rolling. So visit FanDuel.com/local. That's FanDuel.com/local and grab your profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. FanDuel Sportsbook's the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Did you know that you can watch all your favorite shows right on YouTube? We're live streaming Fesco and Dusty, Cody and Gold, The Drive, and After Hours all day long. So if you want to look at the beautiful Alex Gold, interact with Cody Tapp in the chat, or gaze at the ruggedly handsome Dusty Likens, just go to YouTube and watch them while you pretend to work. Go to our channel, hit subscribe, and stay up to date with 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
After Hours, 96.5 The Fan. Logan Weber alongside JT Noah. Our text line, 913-586-7965. I got somebody in the text line asking me a question. It's a valid question to ask because I said this Royals team is around 86 to 88 wins. Where are the Royals better this year? Carter Jensen, maybe, but we are expecting Bobby, Garcia, Salvi, and Vinny all going to have career years. Numbers will say they won't be either of those things. Nobody talks up a 75-ish win team better than Royals fans. Well, first of all, how is this a 75-win baseball team? They won 82 games a year ago. I think they're better than they were a year ago. I don't think they're worse. What gives you the suggestion that they're worse? I look at this team and I say 86 to 88 wins because, number one, I like the Isaac Collins acquisition. Number two, I think that this Royals pitching staff is better, especially the bullpen. Ursig and Estevez is one thing, but they brought over some other people, like Nick Mears, bringing him over in that deal with Isaac Collins. I mean, Mears had a 3.49 ERA last year in 63 appearances. He had a whip of .97. That's a phenomenal seventh inning guy to get Ursig into the eighth and shut it down with Estevez in the ninth. You've got plenty of starting pitching options, starting at the top with Cole Reagans, who I believe with a much healthier year this year could return right back to that Cy Young caliber form. You know, he was a Cy Young finalist 2 years ago for a reason. Very much want to see what happens with Seth Lugo. Michael Wacha has been as consistent a player as they've had in that rotation since he arrived. Noah Cameron, what can he do in year two? You get Bubic back healthy, and if something falls apart, all right, you go to Ryan Bergert, or you go to Bailey Falter. What's the issue with that? What about Steven Kolick, right? I mean, this Royals team has legitimately 8 starting pitchers that it could go to, and that's not mentioning guys on this staff from years past, like a Kyle Wright, or a Steven Zobach, or even, if Daniel Lynch needed to come back into the starting rotation. I doubt it. Alec Marsh, another name. This Royals team has got starting pitching options galore and a bullpen that's better with the additions of Nick Mears, not to mention the acquisition of Matt Strom, who was outstanding in his 3 years with the Philadelphia Phillies, including last year a 2.74 ERA across 62 and a third innings. That's a wildly talented bullpen of your top 4. Estevez, Strom, Ursig, and Mears. Much better bullpen than they had a year ago. You add in Daniel Lynch as a bullpen arm. You add in a potentially healthy John Schreiber or a James MacArthur. I got no problem with where this Royals team is at least in pitching. And they were so banged up injury-wise last year that I can't imagine they're going to be as injury-riddled as they were a year ago.
Crazy enough, you seem more optimistic this year than you did last year.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Because I think they're a better team. They made subtle, small acquisitions that I think affect your bottom line. I thought this was an 84-win baseball team last year. They won 82 games. I see this as an 86 to 88 win baseball team based on who they brought along. And based on the fact that, frankly, in a lot of these...
I love the Zach Collins move.
I do too. I think Jonathan India is going to be better this year than he was last year. He had a bad year by his standards. I'm not saying Jonathan India is going to come out and hit 270 and drive in 80 runs and hit 15 long. That's not what I'm saying. But Jonathan India for his career has been right around a 250 hitter, 245, and a career 249 batting average with a 346 on base percentage. He didn't walk nearly as much last year. He struck out more last year than he has traditionally over the course of his career. It was a winter acquisition. He was trying to get acclimated to Kansas City. He's now had a full season and off season with this Royals team. It's already been said he is going to be the full-time second baseman for this Royals team. I expect him to bounce back and be a little bit better. I think that Isaac Collins will be a definite improvement over anybody they put in left field last year. Jack Caglione will have a full offseason of work and a full spring training with the Major League roster. He knows that right field is his to lose. Here we go. And you're more reliable at your DH spot for this next year. If you want Salvi to catch, okay, put Carter Jensen in there at DH. Okay, you want Carter Jensen to catch, which would be my preferable situation. Salvi can DH. He can just focus on what's happening at the dish. I think top to bottom, it's a better team. And this Royals team was so historically bad with runners in scoring position last year, even by Royals standards, that I think that those numbers will creep back up. Do I expect Salvi to hit 30 home runs again this year? Not really.
Well, you might now with Vincent.
I would say he's probably somewhere, somewhere in like the 24 to 26 range, which would be great.
I mean, if he gets 24, you should be happy with what he's doing.
Yeah, with the changes, maybe Vinny does hit 30 home runs again. I think Bobby is better than he was a season ago. I think Bobby hits more than 23 home runs. I think he drives in more than 88. I think that he has a better than 295 batting average. Maybe Maikel Garcia drops down to hitting 275. Fine by me. But Jack Caglione is going to hit better than 157. I have to believe that. He's too talented for that to be the case. I think this is a better baseball team. And somebody brings up a great point. Luindo Avila. He looked good in the limited games that he pitched last year, especially his bullpen appearances were really, really good. I think he's a guy who could make the opening day roster. And with injuries, he could potentially throw himself into a starting position. We'll have to see. He's one of the better pitchers in the Royals farm system for a reason. 913-586-7965 is our number. Earlier in the show, we had a chance to catch up with Jordan Foote to talk a little bit about the AFC and NFC championship games. And we even talked for a few minutes about the NBA. We'll give you a chance to listen to that. If you didn't hear it earlier, you can also go back to the Odyssey app, go to our podcast. You can listen to every hour of the show that we've got here for you on After Hours. Logan Weber alongside JT Noah, 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Dane and Hughes here, and it's playoff time, and there's no better place to bet the chase for the championship than Circa Sports. It's sports betting the way it should be. Whether you're betting championship or conference futures, sides, totals, or prop bets for every round, there's no better place to make your bets throughout January all the way to the big game. Circa Sports, with high app limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service. Download your new bookie today at circasports.com. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Men, it's the new year, and for many of us, it's a time of deciding to make positive changes in our lives. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction and are tired of the frustration and embarrassment ED causes, you should call Heartland Men's Health today, because there probably isn't a better resolution you can make than to be done with ED. You see, ED doesn't just affect you, it can also affect your partner, even if they don't talk about it. But here's some great news. If you're like most guys, the treatments at Heartland Men's Health will give you back your sex life, because our protocols have success rates that work in well over 90% of cases. Seriously, you might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So, make an appointment and get ED out of your life. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. That's heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices: Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
Midwest, winter 2026, Airman. Say, how's that utility bill? Even your level payment plan seems like it's tilting uphill? But wait, Airman here with some good news to re-level the playing field. Midwest Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing is now offering up to $1,400 in rebates on qualifying Lennox home comfort systems. But hold on, there's more. Midwest is also stepping up with 60 months 0% financing with approved credit. And the newest Lennox systems produce air that is more pure, run quieter, and are significantly more efficient. So much so that your new lower utility bill will seem like a late Christmas present. $1,400 rebate and 60 months at 0%. Now that's more like it. Go to MidwestHeating.com or dial 943-8787 for details. And as so many of your neighbors have for the past 7 decades, trust your air to the best. Midwest. Midwest Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Is life insurance part of your New Year's resolution? Listen, if you're young and healthy, it's simple, and any old agent can get it done. But if you're 50 to 60 years old with a touch of wide waistband syndrome or have correlating health glitches, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider. Big Lou doesn't bait and switch you in with young and healthy rates only to clobber you with the truth down the road. $1 million of coverage could be as low as $200 per month. And unlike that treadmill, this one won't collect dust in the corner. Call Term Provider, speak with Big Lou, and find out how much he can save you on your new $1 million life insurance policy. Start this year off with peace of mind by calling Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. For affordable term life insurance, call 800-700-6898 or biglou.com.
Paramount Plus is the new home of UFC, and we're coming out swinging with UFC 324.
Oh, what a shot!
And 325. On back-to-back weekends, the new era is here.
It's time!
Every fight.
Bam! Let's go!
One subscription.
Oh my goodness!
Pay-per-view just got knocked out.
Let's go!
Back-to-back blockbuster UFC events this month, only on Paramount Plus.
Patriots, Broncos, Rams against the Seahawks coming up on Sunday. A trip to the Super Bowl on the line. And frankly, these are matchups that I don't know if anybody was anticipating coming into the year. We had a chance to catch up with Jordan Foote, and we began the conversation with who could have seen Patriots, Broncos coming back in August.
No chance. And you can maybe find a Broncos fan or two in Kansas City who predicted that they would get to the AFC title game. And you're thinking, okay, some good things have to break your way. You're probably not going to win 14, 15 games. Like you have to luck into a one seed as maybe a 13-win team, have some crazy injury luck, have some things really roll your way. And for the most part, they just played super well throughout the season. They had a bunch of come from behind one-score wins, reminiscent of the 2024-25 Kansas City Chiefs. And now here they are against the New England team that, listen, before the year, I expected them to be maybe a feisty like 8-9 team or a 9-8 wild card squad that snuck in and shocked a couple people, but they blew that out of the water, right? And won 14 games right in the thick of the race for the one seed. I'm with you that the Rams on the NFC side, some people could have predicted that. I was pretty high on their outlook for this year and thought they could reach this game, but even Seattle with that defense figured they'd be limited by the quarterback spot, and so far they're in position to maybe make a run to the Super Bowl here.
Looking first at this Patriots-Broncos game, I think that even with a healthy Bo Nix, I would lean towards New England, but with him out with the fractured ankle, Jarrett Stidham is going to get the nod for Denver. I mean, this feels like a game that the Patriots absolutely should win on Sunday, right?
Yeah, no doubt in my mind that they should win the game. And you hit the nail on the head with this Denver offense, even with Bo Nix. Yes, they played very well in several of the fourth quarters that they were in. Yes, Nix got a lot better over the course of the games, and I think over the course of the season he improved his play. But during the regular season, they were 19th in points per drive, 18th in yards per drive, 20th in time per drive. Like, this is a middling to almost bottom third in several categories offense. Their success rate was nothing crazy on paper, nothing crazy to write home about besides a great offensive line. The run game up and down. Dobbins got banged up. The receiving core, not anything spectacular. They do have Cortland Sutton, who's awesome. They did try to invest in the tight end group. So I'm not trying to discount Denver as an offense that absolutely didn't deserve to get this far. They showed that they did. And that's before Bo Nix got hurt. Now you bring in Jarrett Stidham, who hasn't really thrown a competitive pass. He has played in some games. Beyond then, a couple kneel downs, rushing attempts, things like that. He hasn't thrown a pass since January 7th of 2024. It's been over 2 calendar years. Like, this guy, we don't know too much about him, and perhaps that can work in Denver's favor as an element of surprise. But if that is your biggest case in point of, hey, we have the chance to win, we can surprise them, it's the AFC title game. That's not exactly the leg that you want to stand on going into Sunday.
Yeah, it's. I mean, Jarrett Stidham is trying to follow the sort of Nick Foles method of getting a team to a Super Bowl and winning it. I can't say that I'm super convinced. There's something that doesn't feel right about this, in my opinion, Jordan. I mean, the Patriots were the team to beat in professional football for 2 decades. They had 5 years of mediocrity, and here they are again on Sunday, 4 quarters away from another trip to a Super Bowl. That can't be right. I mean, it just doesn't feel like society, we collectively as football people, should allow this to happen.
You want to know the craziest part, Logan?
Let me hear it.
I think that on paper, this team still isn't very good. Like, yes, their schedule is going to get a lot tougher, and I'm not sure they're going to win 14 games next year, but they very well could have a good offseason. And even if they go 11-6, 12-5, they could be a better team a year from now. And Drake May's taken 5 sacks in his first 2 playoff games. So that's each of them. He's been careless with the ball. He has a lot of negative plays that have crept up throughout the course of the season. This is a top 5 to 10 offense, a solid yet unspectacular defense with a bunch of players that are just solid. It's a very, very solid team, and sometimes that can get you to a conference championship game. I do think that the winner of this Sunday battle is going to end up losing fairly convincingly, I would say, like maybe 10 points plus on Super Bowl Sunday. But New England is ahead of schedule in the rebuild. They have their quarterback. They have their head coach. All the suffering of 3, 4, 5 years after Tom Brady left, and even with Mac Jones, they had a very solid season mixed in there. They're just favorites in the world, and the Patriots seem to be one of those ahead of a offseason that probably will see them become even better.
And you talk about the NFC side of things. Many are calling this Seahawks-Rams game the de facto Super Bowl, including Kansas City's own Nick Wright on his show this week. Do you share in that sentiment that it kind of feels like whoever wins this NFC title game Sunday night is going to be the proverbial favorite to win the Super Bowl?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Kansas City's own Jordan Foote is also going out on just a massive limb and saying that, where Seattle's defense is beyond championship caliber. Like, if it wasn't for the Houston Texans, we would be talking the heck out of this defense. It's just an awesome, phenomenal unit. And yes, they're the best, I think, against the run. They're also very, very good against the pass, despite not having an absolutely star-studded secondary like Houston. They still have enough pieces to certainly get the job done. And then the Rams, their defense has slipped quite a bit over the course of the season. I'd say it's more of a average unit than the one on paper that looks like a top 10 one. Offensively, though, when they're clicking, and that's a big if because they're more frustrating than anything, I believe. When Stafford's clicking, Puka Nacua is healthy, Devontae Adams is out there, the run game is working. Their offensive line has kind of punched above its weight throughout the year, and I think some of that's starting to get exposed against better teams. But with Sean McVay dialing up plays, hard to find a more effective or more explosive, more productive, scarier, battle-tested, whatever words you want to use to describe it, that Rams offense gives them a chance. So I think Seattle on paper is the better team. Both of these teams should beat whoever comes out of the AFC, but only one of them can win, and that's been me stalling for a couple minutes on my pick. I kind of lean that Seattle is better, but it's hard to bet against McVay and Stafford, so I'm kind of thinking they find a way to get the job done on the road and come away with another trip to the Super Bowl.
So it sounds as if you're predicting a Rams-Patriots Super Bowl in this scenario. Of those two teams, I kind of sort of reading between the tea leaves here, know where you would lean with this. Of those two teams, who do you think is going to hoist the Lombardi?
It's going to be the Rams, and I don't think it's that they're unstoppable because, again, they've been very up and down. They've been frustrating. I don't trust them as far as I can throw them, but the Patriots are a year ahead of schedule. We say that a lot, and when teams lose in big games, you can it's similar to the confetti test of quarterbacks, where you're looking to see if you can close your eyes and envision them hoisting the Lombardi with the confetti falling down. The commentator test of, and sometimes it's a curse of, oh, this team will be back. They have, years of good play ahead of them. That probably is going to be true for the Patriots. If they do end up losing on Sunday, or if they get to the Super Bowl and drop that game, they're going to be back among the better teams in the NFL with one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, one of the better coaches in the NFL, an up-and-coming run game, good defense. All of that can be true. They just aren't quite there yet. So would it completely shock me if they messed around and lost to the Broncos? Probably not. Would it shock me whatsoever if the Rams lost to the Seahawks, who I think are a better team? Again, absolutely not. But if that ends up being the matchup, and that's what my gut's telling me right now, I'd say maybe a way too early, maybe not way too early, 27-17 type outcome.
I wanted to have more time to do this, but we ran kind of long on the previous segment. But I want to give you a couple minutes here. I know you're a big NBA guy, as am I. We don't have many opportunities to talk about it in this area. But, it's about the halfway point of the NBA season, maybe a little beyond it. What are your impressions of the league thus far? On the Eastern Conference side, I thought the Pistons would be good. I didn't have them pegged as the 1 seed this deep into the year. I didn't have Boston still competing without Jason Tatum. But I think the one thing that doesn't shock anybody is that the Oklahoma City Thunder are head and shoulders seemingly above the rest of the league.
Yeah, I think once Oklahoma City figures out their jump shooting, there's just been some weird variance there. I'm not sure they need to necessarily make a trade, but this is a team that last postseason played with its food a little bit, and I think their run this year is probably going to be easier, even though Denver has improved. San Antonio looks really good. I think Houston can, if they figure it out, give teams quite a bit of trouble. But the team that has my eye right now, I guess there's 2 of them. One I don't trust whatsoever. One of them I could be talked into. Philadelphia is just captivating to me, with Joel Embiid looking really dominant one night, not moving at all the other night. Not great depth on that team, but when it all clicks, it clicks. And then for Boston, once Tatum gets back, and again, if he comes back, because we don't know what the timeline's going to be, how that disrupts the flow a little bit, I'm not writing them off, especially with the Knicks kind of slumping a little bit, as a team that could come out of the Eastern Conference. And do I think that any of those teams out east are going to win the finals against OKC or push them to 7 games or push Denver or whoever that West representative is? Probably not, but Tatum is a monumental piece, a top 5 to 7 player in the NBA, and I think we've kind of forgotten that because Brown has been so good, but the Celtics absolutely have my attention right now.
As a Celtics fan, I love you saying that, but the premise of does Jason Tatum come back at some point this year does give me a great deal of pause, but you're exactly right. Jordan, appreciate you taking the time, being able to talk a little NFL, and being able to feed into my NBA fandom a little bit tonight. Really, really do appreciate it.
Yep, talk soon, buddy.
That was Jordan Foote of Heavy Sports joining us earlier in the show, talking a little bit about the AFC and NFC championship games, and of course, a little NBA. I know Carrington actually talked a little bit about the NBA today. Not something we typically get to a lot in this area, but I'm an NBA guy.
When there's no Chiefs, what are you going to talk about now?
Yeah, man, I'm sorry. I want to talk about the fact that the Celtics are 11 games above 500 without Jason Tatum. That Jaylen Brown is playing like he might be the best 2-guard on the planet.
What about the Pistons? I mean, no one saw this.
I mean, I knew they were going to be solid,
right?
Because they were good last year, but yeah, I definitely didn't 45 games into the year have them as the 1 seed in the East. I didn't have the Knicks collapsing the way that they have to start this year. I mean, they've been bad. They just got embarrassed in Madison Square Garden last week, like by 40. This was a team that was in the Eastern Conference Finals a year ago. Really? I could understand the Pacers falling apart without Tyrese Halliburton, but good Lord, New York, you're basically the same team you were a year ago. 913-586-7965 is our number. We'll come back. We'll wrap up the week here on this Friday edition of After Hours. Logan Weber alongside JT Noah. This is 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Football playoffs are here, and Underdog is the best place to get in on the gridiron action because you can make entries and win money. Right now in Missouri, it is incredibly easy to get started over on Underdog. Just choose one of your favorite players and choose if they'll go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, rushing yards, receptions, and more. Get them right, and you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. So what are you waiting for? Download the app today and use promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P. The best place to get in on the gridiron action right now in Missouri. Underdog. Make plays, win money. Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit www.ncbgambling.org.
I'm worth more.
I'm worth a little more.
I'm worth a lot more.
I completely agree. You are worth more, and your car's worth more, and we want to pay more at GiveMeTheVin.com for good cars because they are worth more, and so are you. And remember, if I don't beat the price on a CarMax or a Carvana deal, I'll pay you $100 for top price, trust, and ease of transaction. GiveMeTheVin.com, America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
What's up, guys? It's Drew. Listen up. It's 2026, and this is going to be your best year yet when it comes to sex. You know why? Because you're finally going to take the advice and try the chewable tablets from Blue Chew. Blue Chew's tablets help you feel and perform at your best, and their licensed medical providers work with you to find the right ingredient for your prescription. Be more confident where it counts. Blue Chew is a small chew for a big difference because showing up matters during life's most exciting moments. You know, just like the athletes that we love to root on for every single day of the week, these athletes have to be able to show up when it matters during the game's most exciting moments. You need to show up during life's most exciting moments. Be ready when she is. It's not just about performance. Give your partner something to brag to their friends about, because nothing makes you more of a legend than a little Blue Chew. Discover your options at BlueChew.com and get your first month free when you use the promo code KFNZ at checkout. You just cover $5 for shipping. That's promo code KFNZ. Just cover $5 for shipping. That's it. Then you'll be ready to chew it and do it.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement. Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
At Straight Talk, we get it. You say no a lot.
Mom, can I get a tarantula?
No.
Coffee?
No. So we're giving you more reasons to say yes, like a free 5G phone with real unlimited data with select plan activation.
Can I use the free phone?
Yes. See, doesn't it feel good to say yes to more?
Absolutely. Face tattoo?
Absolutely not. Available at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Taxes and fees apply. In-store activation of Gold Unlimited plan or higher required. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
A big weekend in sports for everybody to look forward to while you're hopefully staying hunkered down in your houses, especially once the snow gets here. Don't want anybody out on the roads if this blizzard ends up coming to fruition. Once again, I apologize for complaining about the lack of winter weather that we had received so far. Instead, we got snowmageddon all of a sudden with temperatures in the Arctic Circle region. Absolutely fantastic. But in the meantime, if you are stuck inside this weekend, how about you get to see a couple of regional teams in action on the basketball court? Mizzou playing Oklahoma tomorrow afternoon, 1 o'clock on ESPN2. Tigers are trying to right the ship a little bit right now after they got off to a really good start in SEC play, winning their first 2 games and starting out 3-1 over their first 4. The Mizzou has lost on the road at LSU. They lost at home by only 2 points to Georgia earlier this week. Tomorrow, the Sooners of Oklahoma come to town, and Oklahoma is bumbling along in the Southeastern Conference so far this year. They are 1-5 in the league, which is the worst in the SEC, tied with LSU, a team that Mizzou has beat already this year. Or I shouldn't say.
LSU did not beat it.
They lost LSU. I take that back.
But
I
it was on the road.
apologize.
It was on the road.
Yeah, but that's LSU's only SEC win.
Yeah, it was
Sorry.
terrible. Please stop.
Sorry, forgot to. I read that wrong on the box score. I apologize for that. But Oklahoma's 1-5. They're 11-8 in the league overall. They did not have a tremendous amount of success in their non-conference slate. They got blown out by Gonzaga on the road. They did beat Wake Forest in a road game. But losses to Nebraska, Arizona State, and so far in SEC play, they have been blown out. They've lost 5 in a row. Their only win in the SEC, Ole Miss. Another team that Mizzou has lost to. But tomorrow night, you'll also get a chance to see a little Sunflower Showdown. KU, K-State in Manhattan. Jayhawks are actually only 4.5-point favorites. It sounds like Bill Self is going to be able to coach in this game. Right now, KU is playing their best basketball of the year. We'll see if it can continue in a rivalry game.
Hammering KU money line minus 4.5, whatever it is. Give it to me.
Yeah, I agree with you, but it's also a rivalry game, right? It's one of those situations where, as bad as K-State's been, kind of throw the records out the window a little bit. Not to mention, Wildcats are coming off their first Big 12 win of the year.
That's why I think it's a letdown game.
Yeah, fair. For my producer, JT Noah, I'm Logan Weber. Thank you guys for joining us. Thanks for getting involved in the show tonight and all week. Enjoy your weekend. Stay warm, stay safe. You've been listening to After Hours here on 96.5 The Fan.